This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What's up, everybody? It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk.
Yeah. And what's going on, all you nutmakers? You know what time it is. It's time for Reese on the radio, filling in for our good friend, my homie G Money Slice Grip, Todd Feinberg. News Talk 1080 WTIC. The telephone number 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. And don't forget, you can always check us out live going to reeseontheradio.com. That's reeseontheradio.com. So you can, watch my beautiful voice by going there. And of course, you can hang out with our good friends over at X as well. And come into the chat room. So if you don't feel like calling, you can put your comments in the chat room. And of course, I will read them throughout the show. I want to do something called the 5 o'clock focus. And you don't, in essence, we don't get into the discussion until we get to the 5 o'clock hour. But the 5 o'clock focus, I sort of want to inject into the opening monologue, if you will. And I asked this question last night on our sister station out in Buffalo. I was on, many of you may have known, people who follow the Reese on the Radio Rundown, follow me wherever it is that I go. And I love filling in for our Odyssey family. And they are great, great folks all around this organization. And last night, I asked the question, in the 2 years, maybe 2.5 years that we've been talking about President Joe Biden's decline. Wow, I said former president. I'm getting ahead of myself. Whew. President Joe Biden's cognitive decline in the 2.5 years that we've been discussing it. When was one time, maybe 2 times, where anyone was suggesting, even sort of, someone even said it on the fly, that Kamala Harris was the person in charge? Now, I was there. I was here. Do a podcast Monday through Friday. And every time we talked about the president's decline, every discussion that was made or had with anyone about who's running the White House, who's in charge, there was never a discussion, never one person who said the vice president's got the wheel. Never once. And again, call us cynical, but we're not just talking about me and you. We're talking about the news media. Whether they were for or against the president of the United States, no one was going, don't worry, Kamala's got it. If Joe Biden is in some sort of mental trouble, Kamala is there to take over. Never once was it said at all. There was no confidence that she was behind any of the policies that were going on. In fact, when many people said, why is Joe Biden doing this? This doesn't even seem right. I thought this guy was a moderate. No one was saying, this sounds like a policy Kamala Harris would back. No one did. No one said that she was pulling the strings of the president of the United States. She's 59. He's 81. When he was taking a lid at 4 o'clock, or 11 o'clock in the afternoon, or the morning for that matter, when he wasn't showing up to certain things or going to take a nap, no one was saying, don't worry, Kamala's here. Not once. Unless you can tell me a time when they did. I didn't hear it. Did you? But now, all of a sudden, miraculously, when the president of the United States decides to step down from his campaign, the obvious person to take his place is Kamala Harris. The obvious person. She's a fantastic leader. Ready on day one. Really? The position of President of the United States, Kamala Harris, is ready for on day one. When we thought the president was incapable of running the country, we all said Obama was running it. That Obama acolytes, people were going, Ron Klain? Is it Karine Jean-Pierre? Is it Jen Psaki? Was it Juanita? What was it? What's her name? Valerie Jarrett. Who is running the White House? No one ever pointed to Kamala Harris. Not once. Unless I'm missing something. But I'm going to tell you something even far crazier. And if you don't know this, you might need to step up. No one is rooting for Kamala Harris. Oh, they may tell you we're endorsing her. They are, full breath. We're endorsing her. We're standing behind her. We got her back. That's not what they're saying behind the scenes. And folks, don't take my word for it. I love saying that phrase. Don't take my word for it. I want you to take the word of someone who is 180 degrees out of phase with Reese on the radio.
I'm going to say it. If you think that there is consensus among the people who want Joe Biden to leave, that they will support Kamala, Vice President Harris, you would be mistaken.
That's Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Congresswoman from New York. Saying if you believe that these people are supporting Vice President Kamala Harris, you'd be mistaken. Tell us why, Alexandria.
And I'm going to say that because if they're going to come out and say all their little things on background off the record, but they're not going to be fully honest, I'm going to be honest for them. I'm in these rooms. I see what they say in conversations. A lot of them are not just interested in removing the president. They are interested in removing
the whole ticket. I don't know why that keeps cutting off. I got to find out why this keeps cutting off. But again, as I say, don't take my word for it. How about another person who's completely 180 degrees out of phase with Reese on the radio? I don't agree politically with these people. Here's Jasmine's sister girl Crockett. Sister girl. While talking to Joy Reid on MSNBC, what could possibly be going on behind the scenes with support for Kamala Harris? Joy Reid asked.
What do you make of how this process played out? And are you confident that there is no way to stand in the way of Vice President Harris being the nominee? It seems like she's getting all these state party endorsements.
I am not confident. I will be working and working and working. As you mentioned, there was the other call with Win with Black Women, which is actually still going on right now. I have been in touch with those delegates that have pledged themselves to President Biden in my district. We are in the process of contacting all of the Texas delegation. I am not confident at all because, as it was laid out earlier, I do know that, behind closed doors, while I won't name names, that there were people that were absolutely like it can't be the vice president. So in one breath they were saying, the president needs to be out. In the next breath they were also saying it can't be her. And so it was one of the reasons that I was very fearful that we would end up falling into this trap of chaos.
So what is it? And many people were very, very surprised at Barack Hussein Obama. They were almost stunned, crestfallen. While all of these people are jumping on the Kamala Harris bandwagon, that didn't seem to be the case for the Obamas. Even Michelle Obama did not jump forward at throwing her support. Why would that be? It just seems strange. Wouldn't that seem strange to the rest of you? Barack Obama practically plucked Kamala Harris, plucked her to be the state senator of California. Why in the world would he not back her now? And he released a statement saying, "Oh yeah, we're going to go through the process. We're going to have a good primary again, and we'll go through the primary process and see if we can come up with a candidate." Really, no full-throated support of the first female vice president of African descent? Okay, allegedly. You don't do that. And we're supposed to believe all these people who were talking about, oh, shish boom ba, we're with her. Yada yada bing bong. No. Again, there is no confidence in Kamala Harris. Zero. Nada. They don't want to be the nominee because she is a horrible candidate. Horrible. Are you suggesting to me that in 2020, when she was running for office, she could barely get 1% in polling data and was so abysmal during that primary process, she bowed out before the first primary ballots were filled? That now, miraculously, 4 years later, after getting the nod as the vice presidential candidate, again, no popularity to speak of, zero sum. You're going to also tell me that after the first polling data suggested she had a worse polling position than Darth Vader himself, Dick Cheney. Darth Vader himself, Dick Cheney. War criminal, according to many. Dick Cheney. She had a worse approval rating than him 2 years ago. And now I'm supposed to wake up this morning on this Monday, and I'm supposed to believe the nonsense that Kamala Harris is formidable? We are supposed to fall for that banana in the tailpipe, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you, no. They are desperate. They don't know who to pick. They will tell you that it is not chaotic. They will tell you that they've figured it out. Joe Biden has relieved them of their turmoil, fallen on his sword to give them all their DEI queen. This is what they're going to run on, folks.
So let's just be honest about this. You can be certain that racism and sexism, if not directly from the Trump campaign, from other forces, are going to come flying into this campaign.
Yeah, that's really sad to hear that, but it's obviously true.
Yeah, Wilf, obviously true. I don't think she'll make it to the process at all. I do not think that they'll pick her. And the polling data, this is coming out of Newsweek, definitely not a bastion of Republicans over there. I don't believe one bit, that any polling data in the next coming weeks are going to suggest that Kamala Harris is going to beat Donald Trump. At all. At all. And to just show you how bad this has gotten, how desperate all of this has become, it's like these people don't even recognize what they said a week ago, much less a month ago, or 6 months ago. Anyone remember this?
Ageism is an issue. Americans have a rich history of holding people's physical characteristics against them. Okay, you can ask African Americans.
He's older. That doesn't mean that he is unfit, and there's a lot of ageism there.
Now, this age attack, this obsession by the right,
Joe Biden may not be able to speak for himself the way that he used. I think people should be speaking up for Joe Biden.
Americans and reporters in the media are just judging him by a physical appearance, and it's horribly unfair. Age is an asset.
He showed exactly how with it he is.
The flip side of this coin is that he has a tremendous amount of wisdom and experience.
Have you heard any concerns from anyone who has met with President Biden about him seeming a little slower?
No. More wild speculation from a bunch of people who have probably never been in the room with Joe Biden and certainly don't have medical degrees that I'm aware of.
You don't get paid for performance to be president. The job is not a job of endurance. I don't see Donald Trump out bike riding like Joe Biden.
It's the Hillary's email. All they have is that he's old.
He can clear a dementia bar, and that's probably a win.
The media are not fair.
They're just so mean about his age. It has nothing to do with age. It's ageism. Soon as Joe Biden steps out, soon as he decides to end his campaign, CNN.
Kamala Harris has her work cut out for her. She's running against the oldest nominee for president of the United States in American history. And so when you have this type of change election, when you have this type of generational divide that you have, it's a question of whether or not you want to go backwards with Donald Trump or forward with Kamala Harris. I mean, the man is nearly 80 years old. And so the question is, can he serve another 4 years? I'm not sure he can.
Rachel Maddow.
Old man in the race now is Donald Trump, 78 years old and only occasionally coherent. He is the old man in the race by a mile.
Who says that they're not in chaos? I defy it. I defy anyone to suggest to me that they're not in disarray. They don't know what they're doing. They're a bunch of square pegs in a round hole right now. That's all they are. Don't believe any of the hype. Don't believe any of the hype. I told you he'd be out by Sunday. He was out by Sunday. Wasn't he? Wasn't he out by Sunday? But there's another doozy, ladies and gentlemen. It's why he dropped out. It's why he dropped out. And I'm just going to give you a nice little tease on this one, so stick around. When we get back, you hear everyone saying that the reason why Joe Biden stepped aside is because he's old or because he's frail or because he finally was convinced that he couldn't win. That's only part of the reason why. The reason why they had to get rid of him had everything to do with Donald Trump, but not in the way that you know, not in the way that they've been trying to spin it. Joe Biden has a credibility problem. He has a credibility problem, and I'm going to lay all of that out. And it's the Kansas City Shuffle, as I mention on this show all the time. Watch it. I hope people will go see that film, Lucky Number 11. If for anything, watch it for Bruce Willis explaining to Josh Hartnett what the Kansas City Shuffle is. You all know, some of you do know, you've seen the film. And that's all that's happening right now. Everyone's telling you to look over here when you should be looking in the opposite direction. Joe Biden was not threatened. Joe Biden he didn't have anything held against him. Joe Biden has a confidence problem with the American people, and Donald Trump made it possible. And I'm going to break that down for you. So trust me when I tell you it is not the reason why you think it is. So when we get back, your phone calls and much, much more. It's Reese on the radio filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC.
Did you know you can stream Fox News Radio?
Perfect.
The Odyssey app.
I tried.
Download the free Odyssey app and search for Fox News Radio to hear the voices you trust. Brian Kilmeade.
Why are we so scared of Iran thinking that we're at war with them?
Guy Benson.
Get the bleep out of here. It's disgusting.
Jimmy Fallon.
Then this administration rolled into town with a checkbook.
Are all on the free Odyssey app. From the news and talk to keep you informed and up to date during election season. Listen to Fox News Radio on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Conquer your career with Career Connect. When it comes to your future, the sky's the limit. But it all starts with a first step. Get connected to training and job opportunities. Eligible applicants can get help with transportation, childcare, housing, and technology. With the right resources to succeed, you're unstoppable. Register today at ct.gov/careerconnect. This project is supported by Federal Award Number SLFRT-0128, awarded to Connecticut by the U.S. Department of the
Hey
Treasury.
there, weekend warriors. Tom Shattuck here. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? I know I am. What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing? It's about your weight. Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made in your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121, 800-329-2121.
There's a lot happening in Washington and in your local neighborhood. Follow WTIC News Talk 1080 on the Odyssey app to keep up with the latest. And now, a WTIC news update.
84 degrees at 3:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. High will stay about 85 this afternoon, low around 70 tonight. Vice President Harris is on her way to Wilmington, Delaware. That's where she'll visit new campaign headquarters. They were the Biden headquarters until yesterday. Aaron Navarro of CBS News is in Wilmington and says Democrats expect a smooth transition as far as the campaign is concerned. The cash and operations are being turned over to Harris.
Essentially, the infrastructure for President Biden and his campaign that has existed in the past year and a half will transfer over to Harris. They switched the names on the FEC filing. She was already on the ticket, so any legal snafus she has avoided because she was already on the ticket. She can just kind of inherit this infrastructure.
More than 700 pledged delegates say they plan to support Harris at the Democratic National Convention. That's more than 1/3 of what she needs. In brief remarks at a White House ceremony, the VP talked about President Biden.
I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
It was about 24 hours ago when Biden made the surprise announcement he's dropping out of the presidential race and endorses Harris. Senator Chris Murphy also with a compliment for Biden.
Very few people in power give it up voluntarily.
Murphy endorsing the VP, as is fellow Senator Richard Blumenthal.
This decision was selfless and strong. He put the country first, which is something Donald Trump has never done.
Governor Lamont also endorsing Harris. A doctor says President Biden's COVID symptoms have almost resolved completely. He remains at home in Delaware. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle visiting a House committee. It's a little more than 1 week after the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania.
As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. We are fully cooperating with ongoing investigations. We must learn what happened, and I will move heaven and earth to ensure that an incident like July 13th does not happen again.
Members of Congress want her resignation. Cheadle acknowledges the agency was told about a suspicious person between 2 and 5 times before the assassination attempt. She adds there's a difference between a suspicious person and someone identified as a true threat. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 152, S&P is plus 60 points, the NASDAQ is up 282 and is over 18,000. And we check the WTIC forecast.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine. The rest this afternoon, quite warm and humid. Can't rule out a shower. High 84 to 88. Humid and mostly cloudy tonight. A spotty shower this evening. A little rain at times overnight. Low 71. Clouds and occasional sun tomorrow. Humid with a shower or two in the area. An high of 85. Will stay muggy tomorrow night. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm. And a low of 69. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
84 right now. Red Sox in Colorado. Pregame 7:40 on WTIC. Yankees lead Tampa Bay 6-1 in the 8th inning. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Granger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgranger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Eric Miner from Miners Incorporated in Canton, Connecticut.
Eric used to have an in-house IT staff, but not anymore.
Certainly the difference between when we did it ourselves and having Tab do it now is that they certainly know more about what they're doing than we ever did.
Not only does Eric get IT expertise, Tab Computer Systems doesn't tie him or his company's funds to a long-term contract.
Tab has been good at helping us to do what we do well and what we need to do well.
Which is sell building supplies and lumber. With Tab's monthly service plan, Eric's company has its own IT department that has to earn his business each month.
I would not hesitate at all to recommend Tab Computer Systems to assist any small business out there.
No long-term contracts. Just another reason to call Tab today. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. 1-888-TAB-4-HELP. Or visit tabinc.com. Technology's advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
Did you know that 9 out of 10 customers would recommend AAA insurance to a friend? 9 out of 10 people don't even like baseball. And that's America's pastime. It has an entire Hall of Fame that people visit just because they love baseball that much. Does that mean we should have a Hall of Fame? You can't frame legendary service. Legendary service and superior coverage from AAA Insurance. Something 9 out of 10 of our customers would recommend. Find out why at AAA.com/insurance and get a quote today. Based on a 2023 customer survey, insurance provided by CSAA Insurance Exchange.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Are you struggling? Oh, a minute. Hi, this is Mike.
All right, ready to go.
At the Feet Store, we hear a lot about foot pain, but we also hear about back, knee, and hip pain. I'd like you to hear what Kelsey, a kinesiologist, has to say about the Good Feet Arch Support System.
As an exercise specialist, I've seen all kinds of things that people try to put in their shoes to get out of pain. What I really like about the Good Feet system is that they support all 4 arches in the foot.
Brad is funny.
Did you know you had 4 arches in each foot? Most shoes and inserts only support 1. And maybe that's the reason all those remedies you tried in the past just didn't work.
When the foot's placed in the ideal position, everything else up the kinetic chain works better. You have better balance, more energy. You're going to feel better. Being able to move freely and out of pain means everything to me. And good movement starts.
We're located in Avon at 25 Climax Road across from Whole Foods. Good Feet Arch Supports are HSA and FSA eligible. Book an appointment for your free fitting at goodfeet.com or just stop in. Walk-ins are welcome.
You're listening to Reese on the Radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Yes, indeed. As Brad P. said in the chat room, Joe Biden wanted to be unburdened. by what has been. That's why you dropped out. Just Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC. Let me go to the phone calls first, or wait, you know what? No. Hold on. Let me hold up. Gentlemen, well, hold for me real quick, because I promised and I teased in the last break that I would tell you why we are where we are. Okay? So give me the opportunity to break this down for you. So we use history as our guide, at least on this show. With Reese on the radio, we use history as our guide. We must. And I follow the events. I hate the sort of short-sighted, quick, sort of like running off to the next thing, sort of unfocused nature of news. I like to document things. That's why I love supercuts on my show. I'll do a supercut. I played earlier, Joe Biden and the supercuts in the media talking about how old he was not. And these things are references because we have to remember what people said and what people did. And when they contradict those things, it's not just about the contradiction, is that you know what they're really thinking. Or they are not in any way tasseled or tethered to what they believe, that it's nonsense. And that's what it's used. That's how the kids say you keep the receipts. So I've been following this forever, since I was a kid, 40 years ago. And what do I know for a fact? I know this for a fact, and it will always be the truth. Joe Biden was losing ground with everything that was happening being thrown at Donald Trump. Everything. The Mar-a-Lago raid, the indictments, the lawsuits, Letitia James, E. Jean Carroll. These things started to take a toll on the American people. And when Donald Trump was on social media saying that this is a witch hunt, that these things they're going after their political enemies, that they are trying to kick him out of the race, while many in the news media kept saying that there's no evidence of that, and that's not true, many people were getting suspicious. Many people were somewhat intrigued. What won't they throw at this man? And the American people are not conspiratorial on purpose. They don't jump to the conspiracy theory. But as things start to unfold, as they start to pile on, people start to notice stuff. Wow, that's weird. Wow, really? Hold on. Somebody told me that that's unconstitutional, and it was allowed to happen? Judge Merchan gives somebody a case, a jury, a case, and says, you don't have to have a unanimous decision? Something seems wrong with that. This stuff starts happening. You come back with 34 guilty verdicts, 34 counts of guilt. He's a felon now? In Alvin Bragg's New York, where we know and we've watched on television, where convicted killers, rapists, aggravated assault people are allowed out, no cash bail, and this guy for a bookkeeping error got 34 felony counts and could face a legion of time in jail? Wait a minute. No way that people hate Donald Trump so much that they would forego any reasonable assessment of what was going on. That they just hate him so much that everyone would just go, yeah, let's subvert the constitutionality of all of this just so we can get the bad guy, right? That no one was ever going to think, damn, if they could do it to him, a billionaire, I'm mincemeat if I don't fall into place. No one thought that would happen, but guess what? What did happen was Donald Trump, in all of that, the poll numbers kept showing his numbers go up and up and up. Fulton County, Fannie Willis and Nathan Wade, that nonsense, all of it. All of that's happening in real time for everyone to see. It's not happening under the cover of darkness. This is happening on the news channels every day. And no matter how they spin it, it's still coming out positive for Donald Trump. When they said he was a threat to democracy, and MSNBC did a poll that found out that Americans thought that Joe Biden by 52% was the bigger threat to democracy. That can't be. The news media says that Donald Trump's the threat to democracy, and that's the truth. Why? Because we're the media. We're the gatekeepers. We get to say what the facts are. But the American people decided otherwise. We get all of this lawfare, and what Donald Trump has been repeating all over again, they are trying to get rid of me because they want to go after you. I'm in their way. I'm in their way. I'm in their way. This starts to resonate with people, and people start to think about it. Independents start to go, wow, maybe the guy's right. Undecided are going, I don't know, this seems fishy. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in Butler, Pennsylvania, pop, 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 pop. He's shot at. By what we now know, shows a dereliction of duty by the Secret Service. And many people are believing in a very conspiracy-like way, wait a minute. What if it is true? What if they are trying to get rid of him? And the internal polling data, this is a fact, the internal polling data the Democrats know they have said that the American people are starting to believe that Joe Biden is responsible for the attacks against Donald Trump. And he had to go because that was going to weigh down on the entire Democrat Party. Because if Joe Biden's responsible, the entire Democrat Party is responsible. It looked bad on them. Try me. Someone tell me how I could be off the mark here. Now to the phones we go. Let's go to Jim in Wellington. Hello, Jim. You're on Reese on Radio on the Todd Feinberg Show.
Hey, how you doing, Reese? I'll tell you what. One thing you might be missing here.
Tell me.
In order for can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In order for the Democratic Party to go where they are, they have to be where they've been.
That's right.
Who better to explain that than Kamala Harris?
She's not that capable, my friend.
She's got to be where she's been in order for the Democratic Party to go where they are.
Right.
Where they are is where she's been, and where she's been is where they are. I mean, you can go back and forth. It's like a snake, swallowing its own tail.
Mm-hmm.
But the comment you made about Biden being responsible for or having that hanging around his head. And
right.
The malfeasance of the government since Biden's been president has been clearly evident from one part of the government to the FBI, DOJ,
right.
Department of Homeland Security. So that in and of itself, you put the wrong people in these positions for the wrong reason,
mm-hmm.
and you're going to get what we had concerning Mr. Trump
mm-hmm.
or the border or any other thing that you want to talk about that's completely been unsupported since Biden's been in.
Yeah, and I think, I think that no one's really paying attention to the old saying in the beginning that the adults are finally back in the room. We got that, we got that mantra in the beginning, and then they immediately abandoned that idea that the adults are in the room once we saw this administration completely fumble through everything for 3.5 years. So we know that they are incapable of being the adults in the room. They have been feckless. They've made mistakes. And we're not talking about obvious mistakes. We're talking unforced errors, right? We know that to be true.
But who, my friend, who has been above the fray on the Democratic Party side? Who's been above the fray? Who?
I was thinking, I was like, the best that I can come up with is Ro Khanna, but even he's been he's probably the best. He's the best I can think of. Who do you got?
I'm going to go one better. The person who's pulling the strings is President Obama.
Right. Clear.
Completely disconnected from the fray.
Oh, I thought you said, okay, I get what you're saying. You're saying who's the one person who, but see, then, Jim, this goes right back to my earlier question for the 5 o'clock hour, right? What have we been talking about for 2.5 years about his cognitive decline? Not once did anybody say Kamala Harris was in charge. She was never accused of that.
That's correct. And that's why I firmly still believe it. I said it months and months ago. I firmly believe that it's going to be Michelle Obama. That what we're going through right now with Harris, in my opinion, is just so they can get out the message out there. Well, look, the process is working on the Democratic Party side. We're not subverting anybody. The process is working. We're going to let Harris go and everybody else go. At the end of the day, somebody like a Michelle Obama, who's not tied up or connected to anything that's been going on the past 4 years, that's going to be the person. I'm almost convinced of it now.
I know people are. I'll address that later on in the 4 o'clock hour. Thank you, Jim. Much appreciate the call. Let's go to Mark in West Hartford. Mark, I know you've been watching the Secret Service director on the Hill today. What say you, sir?
Oh, monumental, historic. I mean, we've seen before. This was just over the top. It's the new benchmark. I loved how some of the most destructive woke Democrats wanted to try to interject all the gun violence in the towns that they're in charge of. Don't they realize how stupid? I'd be like, wait a second. Guess what? In West Hartford, there are people who own ARs and plenty of handguns.
Sure.
But, we don't have the problem she does.
No.
And I just don't get where they thought they were going to kind of just bring that into the fray. But it was, I was thinking of you trying to retrieve sound bites. I don't even know where you got.
Well, I did. I got some great ones. I did get some great ones. I got two great ones. One from Jim Jordan. I got Jim Jordan, but the one that I loved the best today, which I'm going to play in the I'm going to play later on. I'm playing in the 4 o'clock hour, is Nancy Mace. Did you see that one?
Which one? What did she say? They all hit it out of the ballpark.
Yeah. Well, Nancy Mace's exchange with Kim Cheadle was so amazing that Kwasi Mfume, former president of the NAACP, had to interject asking for decorum. She just flat out ignored him. And I'm gonna give a whole monologue on Nancy Mace. I love this woman. I'm to be honest with you, I think I have a crush on her.
I think the best was at the end where they finally got her, because all she kept doing was deferring everything to the FBI investigation until one of them, and I forget which, like I said, they all hit it out. I can't remember who said what. They were all "I got you" moments, and they said, "Well, did you talk to the FBI?"
Yeah.
Who did you talk to? And of course, she wouldn't say. Did they tell you? And then we find out everything they were asking, and she kept deferring to the FBI. She had the answers to. She just didn't want to tell us.
Yeah, she has no intention.
And just Kamala. Listen, this one's easy to see. She's the understudy that'll never have a chance to perform.
Absolutely.
They're going to limp their way to the convention, and then we'll find out who they roll.
That's exactly the case.
They can't leave. Yeah, they can't leave the party in limbo, but they have to do this because think about it. If they got Biden to drop out because they know he can't beat Trump, come on, we really think Kamala? It's easy to see.
Which I think, listen, it's the most laughable thing ever that people in the news media are trying to, in essence, breathe life into a vice presidency and a campaign that has done nothing but self-destruct. That's Kamala Harris. Everything about her has been self-destructive. Everything she's ever been in charge of, much less a speech, she has self-torpedoed and self-owned. She is absolutely abysmal. So yeah, the DEI fantasies aside, because out of that, and if you really do, and you can listen to these morons all day on television, but everyone knows that outside of the people who are only going to support her based upon her race will never, and you're going to see some man on the street stuff that you will not believe. They are all going to talk to people out there and going to go, please tell me what Kamala Harris has done as vice president that should make her president of the United States. And you're going to hear a lot of ums and and huh. Let me think about that.
And Reese, I'll leave you with this. If she really was the one, to quote Oprah with Obama, if she was the one with this little bit of time, it would have found a way to put her in that spot now, so she could show everybody what she's got.
Again,
but they can't do it.
That's you know what? That's another thing. Exactly. If this were true, and again, I said this last night. I said this last night on the air. If Joe Biden really wanted to have Kamala Harris win this whole thing, Joe Biden would resign today, put Kamala Harris in charge of the White House. She'd make her the interim president of the United States. In her stay, show her leadership for the next couple of months, even the next month, that when she walks into the convention, she has at least a month worth of a resume as leader of the free world that she could then parlay into the nomination. Give it to her, because you can't coronate her.
Yeah, you said that last night.
Yeah.
I said it yesterday afternoon, so I beat you to it.
God bless you, Mark.
Gotta go to a break.
All right, let's go to a break. We got more news, more views when we return, and I've got more audio sound bites as well. Be sure to call us 860-522-WTIC, 860-522-9842. Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
Whether you own a local business or a global one,
You're only gonna have a minute.
That's fine.
You know that these days, generating growth
I get to tease the 5 o'clock.
By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit
Michael A. and Sharon, thank you. I do need to. I should have told her to put that on there.
Copyright 2024, Bank of America, N.A.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Now, I know you're probably spelling comfort in your head and asking yourself, is it possible? Am I just a really bad speller? Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort. Like hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on with no bending down. Find Skechers in a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Sorry, but we actually have a wait list for our Monstera.
Shaw's greenhouse is really bringing in the green.
We can't keep snake plants in stock.
She needs a construction manager to build on her roots and grow.
We could add a whole section for ferns. Here we'd have dahlias, dahlias, and more dahlias.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Getting
1 minute.
to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right.
One dry, no music.
Okay.
Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here we go.
It's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is your girl Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
The next president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Michael A., you brought up a sore subject and not well. I'll explain it another time. Sharon writes in the chat room, Reese, you need a best on your t-shirt. For those of you who are looking on ReeseOnTheRadio.com, it says husband. And Sharon says, it should say best husband. I try to be, but it's expensive. That woman costs me money. Every week it's a new hobby. I want to make sourdough. This week I want to paint. Do you think we should buy an RV? Whatever you want, sweetheart, whatever you want. I was telling somebody today that as long as Roseanne is distracted, that I can get work done. So whatever she comes in and she says, she can have it. So can I get a bread maker? Absolutely. Have at it. I'd like the pasta maker. Just get it. Let's go to Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center. Mark, do you just concede when the wife says she wants something? You just you don't give her any pushback? You just
No. Why? You know what?
Yeah.
Happy wife, happy life.
Yeah, we gotta listen. Can we get a rhyme that's with husband? Happy husband, something, something.
That doesn't exist.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, I'm happy. But yeah, you know what? I don't have the energy to fight on little things like that.
What's the weirdest thing or hobby that she ever wanted to take up that was sort of like out of the blue, like knitting or crocheting, anything like that?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't think there is any really.
No. Yeah, mine wanted to take sock making.
Sock making. Oh my goodness.
This is weird.
Yeah, she's too young for that to be doing sock making. That's like 25 years from now for her.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like you just want to make socks.
Right. No. Hey, good afternoon, Reese. Good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into downtown Hartford right now, just seeing a little bit of a delay on the southbound side of I-91 between 33 and 32. Northbound 91, that moves well. Cromwell up into Windsor Locks. If you're traveling westbound 84, a little tap of the brakes in the tunnel. 84 eastbound, that's a good ride. Farmington to Vernon, 291 through 84, okay east of the river. 2 eastbound looking good. Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound delays approaching Harbor Park up to the Irrigody Bridge. 91 southbound a little tight between 21 and 20 as you move Cromwell into Middletown. Northbound, right at the end of the Wilbercross Park, we have some slow traffic approaching 68N and E, as some of you will transition to 91 North there. If you're traveling into Waterbury, that looks okay. 84 and 8, 84 eastbound in Newtown, slowing by 9. 84 westbound's a little tight by exit 7 in Danbury. South 95 New Haven slowing as you move down by exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Hi, I'm Deb. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
I'm Jan, Deb's sister. With my Big Y Rewards, I get points when I shop to redeem for discounts on groceries and fuel.
Okay, but I said it first.
It's more than
Oh,
food.
shoot.
It's my Big Y Rewards.
Okay.
More of it sticky the rest of the Sancho. The mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower, thunder shower, high 84 to 88. Mostly cloudy and muggy tonight. A spotty shower this evening. Intermittent rain overnight, low 71. The clouds and a few sunny breaks tomorrow. Still humid with a shower or two, high 85. Wednesday, more clouds than sun. Humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon and evening. High Wednesday, right around 80. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
84 degrees, 4 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Vice President Harris will be in Wilmington, Delaware to visit her campaign headquarters. They were Biden campaign HQ until yesterday when the president announced he's dropping out of the race and endorsing Harris. We haven't seen the president since. He's at his Delaware home with COVID. The doctor says his symptoms are clearing up. The vice president made comments about Biden at a White House ceremony for NCAA athletes.
Facing the South Lawn, the vice president did not mention her own candidacy and instead praised the president.
Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history.
Getting more done in one term than most presidents in 2.
And I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people.
Harris was speaking to NCAA champions, ranging from the Florida State women's soccer team to the Tufts men's lacrosse team.
You all know what it means to commit and to persevere. And you know what it means to count on teammates.
Harris's remarks came as more top Democrats endorsed her as she works on getting more delegates on board. Sagar Magani, Washington.
In an update on that, more than 700 pledged delegates say they plan to support Harris at the DNC. That's more than one-third of what she needs. Connecticut delegate Kenneth McClary of Bloomfield will be voting for Harris and says Biden did the right thing.
He made the right decision for the country and the party. So I originally was kind of disappointed, but then the emotions got over me and said, you know what, he's doing what's best for the party. So I appreciate what he's done.
The Harris campaign says it has raised $81 million since yesterday. The Secret Service director meets a House committee 9 days after the shooting in Butler.
Kimberly Cheadle called the assassination attempt
the most significant operational failure
of the Secret Service in decades.
She said the Secret Service's mission is to protect our nation's leaders.
On July 13th, we failed.
And while she says she accepts full responsibility
for any security lapse of our agency,
Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer says,
"It is my firm belief, Director Cheadle, that you should resign."
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Police in Waterbury released the names of those killed in a late Friday night head-on crash. Here's WTIC's John Silva.
The two-vehicle crash on Thomaston Avenue Friday night left 4 people dead. One vehicle was traveling south, the other headed northbound. An Audi driven by 26-year-old Sharef Mahane of West Hartford collided with a Lexus driven by 44-year-old Mark Sousa of Waterbury. Sousa was killed. There was no one else in his vehicle. A rear seat passenger in the Audi, 25-year-old Danae Foster of Waterbury, was killed. Police say they're still awaiting to confirm the name of the third person who died in the Audi. Both vehicles caught fire as a result of that crash. Investigators say speed played a role in the fatal crash. John Silva, WTIC 1080 News.
Closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow is up 127, S&P climbed 59 points, and the NASDAQ was up 281 points. Sports, Red Sox in Colorado, pregame 7:40 on WTIC. Yankees beat Tampa Bay 9-1. Mets in Miami tonight. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
We all hear the radio.
Whoa, a minute.
They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here
Did
to
you
do
get the
that.
thing that
Tax
I
Relief
sent you?
Advocates is different.
Top of the hour?
TRA is here to tell you that if you
Oh, no, hold up.
IRS, whether it's 5,000, 50,000, or 500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6481. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate.
Barely any on there.
Programs are now
There's no
available
audio?
to give you a fresh start. Our passion is
super low
and helping individuals.
Oh, you may have to turn it up.
Problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6481. That's 800-575-6481. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
What are we to make of poor Joe Biden? Out of the blue, nowhere. Forced to resign his campaign to become president of the United States. In some ways, you got to feel for the guy. Many believe that what his family and his party was doing to him is a form of elder abuse. And now, no one's even seen old Joe. The feisty man who wanted to take the former president out back behind the schoolhouse and have a fist fight with him. It's a shell of a man today. Who's going to be there for old lonely Joe? His party's pretty much abandoned him. No more use for him. Will they invite him to the convention? Will he campaign for some of the people who are struggling in their districts? Or will they just let Joe Biden wallow in the White House, hoping that it all just comes to an end and Joe Biden takes a trip back to Rehoboth to enjoy the puppies, Commander, and whichever one is bitten 12 to 15 Secret Service agents. Who knows? Who knows? God bless you, Joe. You did it for your party, while you did nothing for your country. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with our good friend Mark Christopher.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon morning to you.
You're an idiot.
Southbound side of I-91, you're going to see slow traffic 33 down to 32 A and B. And a little slow again down by the 9 interchange at Cromwell, 22 down to exit 21 in Cromwell. Northbound 91, a little tap of the brakes up by 22. After that, good ride from Rocky Hill up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing, approaching the bulk bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound, that moves well. Farmington right out into Vernon. 291 through 84, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. We do have an accident now reported on northbound Route 9 in Middletown between exit 23 and 24. The left lane shut down there. If you are traveling into Waterbury, that looks good. 84 and 8. 84 eastbound in Newtown delays 8 in Danbury up to 9 in Newtown. South 95 in New Haven, a little tight by exit 44. Northbound on the Parkway, a little tight as you move between 67 and 68 and an E in Meriden. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Quite humid the rest of this afternoon, increasing cloud cover and a high temperature in the mid-80s. See a shower, thunder shower in a few areas before this afternoon is over into early tonight, then occasional rain during the overnight hours. We'll stay humid with the low of 71. Tomorrow, humid, clouds and a few sunny breaks, a little more than a shower, high 85. A couple of showers, maybe a thunderstorm tomorrow night, low 69. Wednesday, clouds and occasional sun, continued humid, a couple of showers and a thunderstorm, best chance coming during the afternoon, high 80. Right now it is 83 degrees in West Hartford. It's 81 in Farmington at 82 in Hartford. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Are you a proud Connecticut business owner? We are too, with more than 45 years of experience handling business transactions for small and mid-sized businesses. And we know that not every business relationship works out as planned. If you find yourself in a dispute, call the law firm of Brown, Painderis, and Scott. Our team of business lawyers have over 100 years of combined experience. At BPS Lawyers, you get more than a lawyer. You get a law firm. Visit us at bpslawyers.com. Nick Painderis is responsible for the content of this ad.
Today we're constantly photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy
Roland, tell me in my ear if this next bid is
share with a click.
Just like magic, your
too high or too low,
memories
please.
is now saved in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box.
How's that?
No, that's good.
Perfect.
Moments
Thank
are
you.
in good hands.
And 10.
Could fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those.
You got callers too. I'm about to put them in after you come back.
That's good. Thank you.
LegacyBox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's LegacyBox.com/value.
You're listening to Reese on the radio, filling in today for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Talk about appropriate music bumper. Survival of the fittest. That's what the Democrat National Convention's going to be, if anyone bothers to challenge her. And let me tell you why they should, folks. Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on News Talk 1080 WTIC. Your phone call's coming up. But listen to this. Steve Kornacki on MSNBC said this.
Does Kamala Harris fare against the former president?
I mean, the short answer is not really any better. Take a look at this. This is the average of all the polls you're talking about there since the debate that tested Kamala Harris against Donald Trump. Trump 47%, Harris 46%. In this same set of polls when it was Joe Biden, 47% for Trump, and 45% for Biden. So the Democratic number on average goes up from 45 to 46. But I think it underscores for Democrats, they view this move as something that's going to improve their chances in the general election. That is based more on hope than it is on the numbers right now, because you go another level deep in this, and you've got the favorable, unfavorable, basic impression people have of these candidates here. For Joe Biden, look, these numbers have looked like this for a long time. Very, very bad numbers. 36 favorable, 57 unfavorable. Again, this in average of polls over the last month. So what's the difference with Kamala Harris? Again, not much of a difference from 36 favorable to 38, 57 unfavorable down to 52, but that's still a majority of voters saying they have an unfavorable impression of Kamala Harris. Throw up Donald Trump's numbers there for comparison. He's at 41 favorable, 55 unfavorable.
So again, radio sucks for numbers, but if you were lost, let me slow it down for you. Steve Kornacki's got to go a little fast, but let me slow it down for you. Unfavorable for Joe Biden, 36%. Favorable for Kamala Harris, 38%. Favorable for Donald Trump, 41%. Okay? Even though Donald Trump has a higher unfavorability than Kamala Harris. Donald Trump has a 55% unfavorable to Kamala Harris's 52. Yet she isn't favorable. She is now 10 points higher than Dick Cheney was. And she's still doing worse than Donald Trump in the favorables. So this so-called BS that you're hearing in the news media, please. I got to tell these people every day, knock it off. Andy's in Wethersfield. Hello, Andy. You want Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reese. How are you?
Pretty good, sir.
Hey, a couple of quick things. One on the Cheadle congressional hearing. Oh,
yes,
my God, what a disaster. But the funniest thing in a really sad way, I don't know if you heard it, but at one point somebody asked her whether she had a timeline of the sequence of events.
Yeah.
And she said yes. And then they said, can you share it with us? And her response was, well, we have the timeline, but we don't have the specific details. And all I could picture was, she's got this line with hash marks through it with nothing else.
Yeah.
So I've got the timeline. I've got the template. All we need to do is fill in all the information for it. And I was just stunned at her response.
Everything about her is inept, and she is fully exposed. She cannot do anything but resign. This is disgraceful.
I can't imagine
how
she can stick with this. The other thing is, this whole idea of suspicious activity versus threatening. One thing that I don't get, and this just seems typical of government stuff, they'd say like, well, he had a rangefinder. Well, that's suspicious but not threatening.
Right.
He had a drone. Well, that's suspicious but not threatening. Well, maybe individually, if you have one of those things.
Right, by two different individuals. Yeah.
But if you have three of those things, doesn't that start sounding more like threatening rather than just, maybe, it's a rangefinder, but maybe he was using it for something reasonable.
Yeah.
And when you have a whole number of these things, it seems like it increases the urgency of looking into it. And it just seems like they're looking at it in a vacuum. Well, he just had a rangefinder. No big deal. He had this. No big deal. He had that. No big
And there
deal.
should have been, under the circumstances, because the Secret Service was, and if not the local police, right? You're dealing with the former president and a presidential candidate for that matter, that you don't have a zero tolerance under these circumstances, right?
Well,
And
that too, yeah. Well, you give the benefit of the doubt.
yes, exactly. And under the circumstances, like I can understand at a concert that may be different, but a presidential candidate where things like, assassination attempts are prone, that's the one where you go zero tolerance. The rangefinder is no bueno, that you can't get in with that. It's not happening. But to see a series in that ineptitude, as it were, just sort of, it begs for everybody, as far as senior staff at the location at the time, has got to be fired, if not reassigned to desk duty, if not suspended without pay. But she just because when we now find out that there were requests made by the Trump administration, or at least the Trump team, for more security, even after they knew about the Iranian threat, that in and of itself says, look, they not only they dropped the ball, they are absolute, like these are Keystone Cops at this point. You got to get rid of them.
You know, it's not just the agents; it's the highest level. It's their
Yes,
protocol.
absolutely, absolutely.
One last thing I was going to mention was, and I'll tell you, I'm a Republican, but I'm not a big fan of Trump.
Sure.
But,
Okay.
You know, this whole thing about the debates, I'm starting to wonder, why would anybody want to have a debate prior to the conventions where each party determines their candidate? Because you have a situation here where somebody just has a meltdown on the debate, and then you say, oh, you know what, well, let's get rid of them and we'll replace them with someone else.
I think let me answer that. Let me answer that this way, Andy. What I think it was that they were, and people are saying it's like, why did Donald Trump agree to it? You know, I don't think that the Democrats, or at least the Biden campaign, were thinking that this, you know, they could get him out of the race. I do believe that they were to get him on that debate stage before whatever decline they were hiding from us was heightened. That's what I believed. And I don't believe people are going into the weeds saying he was never going to be the nominee. Why would he agree to a debate so early? I think this was a campaign sort of strategy to get Joe Biden out there before he really, really looked at, you know, at least at the position, or at least the condition that he's in today. They were trying to get it out of the way before he severely declined. And unfortunately, it didn't work out for them.
Yeah, hey, one last real quick thing, if you have a minute.
Go for it, real quick.
So I heard you say, you know, Biden, I forget exactly what you said, but did nothing good. And I love listening to you, but I know it's...
Oh, you were talking about, wait a minute, the lonely man speech? The lonely man speech? When I said he did nothing good for the country?
What's that?
When I was doing the lonely man speech with the violin playing in the background? Okay, come on, that was completely tongue-in-cheek.
I get it. So, you know, but, you know, sometimes when you listen, again, whether it's Fox News or CNN, it's like they're just so extreme with this, you know, if you're a Republican, the Democrats, 100% terrible, nothing ever good, and then vice versa.
Yeah, I know. I was being completely satirical there, but just because.
I hear you.
I appreciate you, Andy. Thank you, man. Let's go to Jeff. You too, sir. Let's go to Jeff in Jeff in Marlboro. Hello, Jeff. You're on with Reese on radio.
Hey, Reese, thanks for picking up, man.
My pleasure, man.
Hey, so I got three things I want to say. Okay, I'll make it real quick. And
Okay.
Then I'll just sign off and let you go ahead. Number one, they tried to stop Trump on the first election.
Yep.
Okay, with the fake dossier and all that horse business, and that didn't work. Second time around, they sure as shoot we're not going to lose again. So they stole votes, they added votes where needed, and they made it work. Third time around, they tried to let a person who they knew had it out for him kill him. That's all I have to say.
I hear you. And I think what you're saying, Jeff, lends to what I was saying and why Donald Trump's poll numbers have been skyrocketing for that matter. Because again, all of this looks like, or it appears to be, to the average person, the layman is looking at this going, this sounds like or looks like a plot. And it's just a way. It doesn't mean that it's true. And again, I'm not making any bones about whether or not it's factual. I'm just saying the optics, politics being, you know, where we are today, the optics look like this is all sabotage. This is another, you know, pulling out all the stops to get the president, you know, the former president out of the way. And people, it resonates with people. I think it does. Whether it's founded or not, I think it resonates. But thank you. I appreciate it, Jeff. Let's go to Terry in Texas. What's up, man? Commentary.
Hey, what's up, Reese? You know, I just got a couple comments and then a prediction.
Yes, sir.
Hey, these people are gross. They're pathetic. The ease with which they lie is disturbing, if not evil, to say the least. You know, Kamala's not going to be sticking around for this. I'm trying to get away from some of this. I know Obama apparently doesn't support her, and Who knows what that dude's masterminding behind the scenes, old Wizard of Oz self. But this is my prediction, man, because look, the roof is on fire, the house is ablaze.
Sure.
On the fire alarm, and they're gonna send out Big Mike to put out them flames, man.
You know what? I need to, Terry, hold on for a second. You are just like everybody. I'm telling you, I'm listening to talk radio everywhere, and I'm a big fan of talk radios, and I got a lot of favorites that I listen to. This has been repeated and said ad nauseum. I'm going to tell you, okay, I'll ask you this real quick. You believe that Michelle Obama is the ace in the hole. She's the secret weapon to the Democrats coming into the convention, that they're going to introduce they're going to remove Kamala Harris and put in Michelle Obama, and Michelle Obama is going to take the whole thing. You're of that belief. Is that true?
Now, in my defense, I only listened to about 5 minutes of talk radio today until.
Okay. No, I'm not accusing you of that. I'm just saying that I've heard this all day. I do. I listen to all talk radio.
Nothing surprises me at this point. I think if you were to kind of put people in any kind of conflict with what they got going on right now about whether they want to vote or they don't want to vote, or they have confidence in Harris or not, I think at the end of the day, I mean, this ball has been kicked around a little bit, and if they're as desperate as it seems, I mean, why would they not? You know, Obama seems to. I think I've mentioned this with you before. We really don't know what we don't know.
Right.
This Tim Cheadle, or however you say her last name.
Tim Cheadle, yeah.
Cheadle, she should be in jail. So I really don't know how far they're going to push this envelope, but it just wouldn't surprise me because she's still, even though she's not directly involved in politics, she is influential, and I think that would be their one and only shot to be able to change the game. I'm not as well versed in politics as you, and I would never.
No. Mike, listen, I want you to know, listen, Terry, I know that a lot of people believe this, and I know why they believe it, because, again, it's one of those things where it's just like, who else do they have on the bench, right? You know Gavin Newsom's not going on. You know Kamala Harris was not well liked. But Michelle Obama is almost like the question about, Oprah Winfrey back in 2016. Many people said that they need a likable person to run against a Republican, and they will surefire win. But don't worry, I'm going to address it in the next hour.
You know what they need? They need somebody to make people forget. This is a true story, and I'll leave you, I guess, somewhere around here. My wife and I were shopping the other day, and we went to grab however many eggs it was. I don't remember. Literally, as we were getting the eggs off the counter, the dude started changing the prices from whatever it was, $9.99 to $14.99, right in front of us.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so I tried to scan it with the app to see maybe this is coming, but no, it was already.
Wow.
Today, my wife likes these little pies. I buy her one every now and again because actually I'm the greatest husband, so you're going to have to get the second greatest husband if you're going to get any t-shirt at all. So, but I was buying my wife one of these little pies that she likes. I swear to God, these pies are like 84 cents. They were changing the sign to $1.46 for the same little pie. They're going to have to find somebody that's magical. They're going to have to get David Copperfield. They're going to have to pull out all the stops to be able to make people believe what we're seeing in these stores isn't true.
You are 100% right, and I'm going to make that. And that's my assessment when I talk about this in the next hour. Thank you for that commentary, ladies and gentlemen, all the way in Texas, checking out the show. Michael B says, Reese, you mispronounced Michael Obama. It's Michelle, okay? I'm not falling for that trap. I'm not going to take another one because I don't know, because a lot of people want to jump in. So I got Steve in Middletown, I got Dave in Windsor, and Joe in New Hampshire. Dave's off, but I got Joe in New Hampshire. You guys hold on for me, okay? After the bottom of the hour break, and I will take your calls. If anybody else wants to chime in, because I do need to address this. The Michelle Obama thing is a huge thing that no matter where I check out talk radio and the news media, that Michelle Obama appears to be the person that people believe in. Now, look, I don't want you people to trust me, okay? I want you to confide in me. I want you to, in fact, no, let me rephrase that. I don't want you to trust me. I want you to listen. Michelle Obama is not going to be the candidate. She cannot be the candidate for a host of reasons, which I cannot get into, because I am sworn to never say a word. But I promise you, if Michelle Obama gets into the race, all bets are off. please understand me. You do not have to trust me. I just need you to listen to me. Michelle Obama cannot get into the race. The opposition research would be devastating. Devastating. And it's not like Michael B. said about the whole calling her. It's not that. It is far. It's just bad. Let me just put it that way. Okay? The Michelle Obama thing is a myth. It's a myth. But I have other reasons why I know that Michelle Obama cannot be the candidate. And we will get into that. And I'll explain to you why. And people are missing a very, very key factor in all of this. Okay? Trust me when I tell you, it's not as simple as you think. It's time to go to the BPS Traffic Center with our good friend Mark Christopher. Mark, how are you, sir?
All right. Thank you very much, Reese. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. Well, if you're heading into Hartford right now, overall things are looking pretty good. Southbound side of 91, just a little slow as you move down by 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91's a good ride. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 94, a little slow East Hartford approaching, getting over the Bulkhead Bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound losing some speed. 48 Capitol Avenue into the tunnel. Looks real good east of the river. 291 through 84, 2 eastbounds. Okay, Glastonbury into Marlboro. Now, if you are heading into downtown Middletown, 9 northbound, look out for a crash involving a tractor trailer. That's northbound 9 between exit 23 and 24. Left lane block there. Got some slow traffic now back to exit 22 behind that. Waterbury's okay, 84 and 8. 84 eastbound Danbury slowing by exit 5. 95 southbound New Haven tight 46 to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Columbia Implant Center in Manchester offers the leading edge in technology, which allows for dental procedures, start to finish in one day. From a single tooth replacement to complete reconstruction, we do it all. Call 860-730-6020 or ColumbiaImplantCenter.com.
WTIC weather. Intervals of clouds and sunshine. The rest this afternoon, quite warm and humid. Can't rule out a shower. High 84 to 88. Humid and mostly cloudy tonight. A spotty shower this evening. A little rain at times overnight. Low 71. Clouds and occasional sun tomorrow. Humid with a shower or two in the area. And a high of 85. Will stay muggy tomorrow night. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm. And a low of 69. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
83 degrees at 4:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Vice President Harris is in Wilmington, Delaware to visit her new campaign headquarters, the former Biden headquarters. Democratic endorsements are pouring in after President Biden endorsed her yesterday, and delegates to the Democratic National Convention, formerly committed to Biden, appear to be falling in line.
She's got about a third of the delegates needed committed to her already, thanks to delegates from North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, New Hampshire, Florida, and a handful of other states expected to say that whenever a roll call is held, they intend to vote en masse for the vice president.
CBS's Ed O'Keefe. A smooth transition is expected as far as the campaign is concerned. The cash and operations are being turned over to Harris. In brief remarks at a White House ceremony, the VP talked about President Biden.
Joe Biden's legacy of accomplishment over the past 3 years is unmatched in modern history. In one term, he has already, yes, you may clap.
Both Connecticut senators are endorsing Harris. First, Senator Richard Blumenthal.
I trust her integrity, her experience, her record of accomplishment, and I know her personally to be someone of deep insight.
Senator Chris Murphy says the VP will appeal to a number of key voting groups.
A lot more Democrats, a lot more women, a lot more people of color turning out for Kamala Harris. That may be the biggest difference that she will have.
Governor Lamont also endorsing Harris. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle appeared before a House committee a little more than 1 week after the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania.
The assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump on July 13th is the most significant operational failure of the Secret Service in decades.
She says she takes full responsibility, but she's refusing to resign. Cheadle acknowledges shooter Thomas Crooks was seen by local police before the incident. He was considered suspicious, but Cheadle says there's a difference between a suspicious person and someone identified as a true threat. The closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow was up 128, S&P climbed 59, NASDAQ was up 281 points. Sports, the Red Sox in Colorado, pregame 7:40 on WTIC. Juan Soto had 2 of 6 Yankee home runs in a Yankees 9-1 win over Tampa Bay. The Mets in Miami. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Hi, Don Cussin here. With summer travel upon us, before you hit the road, have your car or motorhome checked out by Cussin Automotive. When was the last time your vehicle had a thorough inspection and not just an oil change? Your tires, what condition and how old are they? Your cooling system, what condition are your belts and hoses in? Are your brakes ready for a road trip? What about your engine? Is it running at peak performance? Based on the price of gas, be sure you optimize your fuel mileage. So before you head out, do it right with Cussin Automotive.
Sports became a bigger part of WTIC in the 1950s. In the early years, the focus was on coverage of the Hartford boxing scene, as well as local football rivalries and annual coverage of the Indy 500. In 1952, we started covering what was then the Insurance City Open, and 72 years later, we are still covering the tournament, which we now know as the Travelers Championship. In 57, we started regularly broadcasting the Boston Red Sox baseball team, and as you also know, the games are still heard right here. Also in 57, George Ehrlich, who was then considered the best play-by-play announcer in all of New England, joined the sports staff here, and with Floyd Richards brought UConn basketball and football to listeners. In 1973, WTIC became the radio home of the Hartford Whalers and broadcast the games until the team left Hartford in 1997. Sandy Terenzi and the Livian team at Keller Williams is proud to sponsor this moment in WTIC history. The real estate team offers extensive services, support, and expertise. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call them at 860-855-SOLD.
Feel like everything's clouded by CaliforniaPsychics.com. Our psychics are available to talk 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
After 80 years of learning his wildfire prevention tips, Smokey Bear lives within us all. Learn more at SmokeyBear.com. And remember,
only you can prevent wildfire.
Brought to you by the USDA Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Retirement can be scary, but only if you're not prepared. That's why AARP created thisispretirement.org. Because unless you've already retired, you're in pretirement, and you still have time to plan. Learn about retirement savings options, potential tax breaks, and how you can build savings over time. Visit thisispretirement.org for free resources to help you customize your action plan and feel the retirement fear disappear. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
That's an interesting one. You heard the big voice, Reese on the radio, right here live. NewsTalk 1080 WTIC.
You don't mess with Logic, dog?
Not really. Not particularly.
Lyricist, dog.
I know. Not particularly fond. Let's go to Steve in Middletown. He's on the
1 minute.
Oh, that's right. Oh no, Steve, then hold on. Sorry, Steve. I don't want to shortchange you like that. Just hold on. I forgot. We got to go top of the hour. We got to go BPS in a second. So anyway, look, the Michelle Obama thing. Let me just break this down to you real quick, okay? Michelle Obama is tethered to whomever in the Democrat Party. Most importantly, Barack Obama. Many people believe that Barack Obama has already been running this campaign. And if he has been, it's gone south. They may blame Joe Biden, but if they believe that Barack Obama was running that campaign, you know they think he'd be running this one if Michelle Obama were to join the fray. It would be an extension, no matter what. Okay? Michelle Obama, you can give me a policy that she ran on? Anything? Let me bring back our girls, school lunches. You believe that somebody's going to win the presidency just based upon popularity? Vogue magazines? Ebony magazines? You think that's going to win? Come on, folks, with all due respect. You're shortchanging your own intelligence. She's popular with people, sure. People who care about that popularity stuff, yeah, okay. But Michelle Obama doesn't have a campaign. What's she going to go out there and run on? Donald Trump is a racist? That's not a campaign strategy. She's got nothing. She'll have to run on her husband's record. And she would have to tell everybody that if you elect me, you get Barack Obama back. And that's not going to win. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
How about me?
How about me?
Can we end this two-term limit and bring me back?
I feel your pain. I feel your pain.
There's a lot of frat parties in the summer. I got nothing to do. Where are the interns at? Thank you. Reese, thank you very much. I'm going to
Absolutely.
Mark Christopher now. Right. Thank you, Mr. President, and good afternoon, everyone. If you're heading into Hartford right now, southbound side of 91 delays 33 down to 32 A and B. Northbound 91, that looks good. Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slowing on the Bulkley Bridge into the tunnel. 84 eastbound's a little tight. 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay. Glastonbury to Marlboro. If you're heading into Middletown, 9 northbound, got some slow traffic now. 22 up to between exit 23 and 24 in Middletown. Left lane's blocked there with a tractor-trailer accident, so you want to stay to the right there if you can. If you're traveling 91 southbound, you got a little slow traffic by exit 18 with a 691 interchange in Meriden. Looks okay in Waterbury, 84 and 8, 84 eastbound in Danbury, slowing 3 to 5. Heading into New Haven, 91 in the Parkway, both doing very well. Traffic and weather together on the 8s WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Humid the rest of this afternoon, mostly cloudy in parts of the area. Shower, thunder shower, high in the mid-80s. We'll stay humid and mostly cloudy tonight. A spotty shower, thunder shower early. Occasional rain during the overnight hours, a low of 71. Clouds and occasional sunshine tomorrow with a shower or two around. Maybe a thunder shower, high 85. More of the same on Wednesday. Humid with clouds and a few sunny breaks. We do expect a couple of showers and thunderstorms will be most likely during the afternoon and evening. Wednesday's high near 80. It's currently 83 degrees in Manchester. It's 81. It's on Glastonbury. 82 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer, he hears things differently. To the untrained ear, everything on his shop floor might sound fine, but he can hear gears grinding or a belt slipping. So he steps in to fix the problem at hand before it gets out of hand. And he knows Grainger's got the right product he needs to get the job done, which is music to his ears. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Sports became a bigger part of WTIC in the 1950s. In the early years, the focus was on coverage of the Hartford boxing scene, as well as local football rivalries and annual coverage of the Indy 500. In 1952, we started covering what was then the Insurance City Open.
Some of the things you people write are just awful.
The Travelers Championship. In 57, we started regularly broadcasting the Boston Red Sox baseball
That's
team.
awful,
and as you
people.
also know, the games are still heard right here. Also in 57, George Ehrlich, who was then considered the best play-by-play announcer in all of New England, joined the sports staff here, and with Floyd Richards brought UConn basketball and football to listeners. In 1973, WTIC became the radio home of the Hartford Whalers and broadcast the games until the team left Hartford in 1997. Sandy Terenzi and the Livian team at Keller Williams is proud to sponsor this moment in WTIC history. The real estate team offers extensive services, support, and expertise. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, call them at 860-855-SOLD.
Hey there, weekend warriors.
1 minute.
Sick of that
Okay.
slice? Tired of those 3 putts? I know I am. What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing? It's about your weight. Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made in your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
It is your girl, Cammie. And I want you to know that when I listen to the radio, okay, I listen to Reese on the radio.
I really, really do like this beat for Nas. This isn't Nas's version of that, right?
Yeah.
This is, okay, it sounds a little different. Anyway, you heard the lady, Reese on the radio. Going directly into the phone calls now. Let's go to Steve. Steve's in Middletown. Hello, Steve. You're on Reese on the radio. Steve, we there? Hey, Steve. How are you, sir?
Yeah, are you good? Good. Hey, I think I cracked the code with Kamala here.
Okay.
She says you're unburdened by the past.
Right.
That's why no one in this administration is ever held accountable. Screw up the Afghanistan withdrawal.
That's right. Unburdened by what has been.
Come across our border. No one gets fired.
Right.
You're unburdened by what you did.
Right. You're 100% right. Yeah.
No one gets held accountable.
And that's probably what her presidency would look like. Never taking accountability. She would always be unburdened by what has been.
And then she'd laugh about it.
Yeah, it's an interesting point of view, but I think you're on point. I think you are. Thank you, Steve. Let's go to, let's go to Joe in New Hampshire. Hello, Joe. You on Reese on the radio?
Hey, Reverend. How are you today?
Pretty good, sir. Pretty good. And I got your message, sir. Thank you so much for your message.
Well, did you have a chance to look into that huge short on DJT, Donald Trump's stock, that was taken out the day before the assassination attempt?
No, but
$1 billion worth of shorts.
Yeah, I did. In fact, I was reading the story 2 days before you mentioned it, and I have been so distracted that I could not get into it because I got a million other things going on. But I noticed that. So when you brought it up, you immediately piqued me because I was going, oh, yeah, I did see that article. And I started reading it, but then I got distracted by it. I still need to get into that because you're right. And I think it sort of lends into what I was talking about earlier with the optics, with the general optics of that story and the optics I was talking about earlier in the program with what the camp was saying or DNC was saying about their internal polling, that this administration is starting to look very much to the American people like it's going after its political enemies, and it's not working well. It's the worst optic for the candidacy of Joe Biden to look like his acolytes are trying to off their opponent. It doesn't look good. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, and I don't mean this to be, disrespectful. I'm sorry to say it, but this is just the optics. Kamala Harris sort of removes herself from that indictment, as it were, because she's kind of referred to as a dimwit. And again, she's kind of removed from the office of President of the United States. Why? Because they kind of give her this secondary stuff that she does poorly. Border czar, she did that poorly. Sending her overseas to other events and doing things, and she always manages to screw it up. So she has a fair enough distance, and I would say plausible deniability to have any association with the attacks that are going on against Donald Trump. So she's viable in that way. But they, even as I already played, Jasmine Crockett and AOC say that even those people who are talking behind the scenes, talking about how they endorse her, really don't want her to be the candidate at all.
Yeah, as I've told you before, I'm active in the stock market, mostly shorting distressed situations, and I found it successful.
You were a bad guy you were considered a bad guy back in 2008. You know that.
Well, the stock's going to go down whether I'm involved or not.
Right.
I mean, I'm
right.
just in New Hampshire. I'm not one of the people causing it.
Right.
But I did research on the Donald Trump stock media.
Mm-hmm.
And on the good news is when they did this short, 120,000 puts on Friday morning.
Wow.
So they knew something was going to, be attempted. but the stock closed that day around $31 a share. At the open Monday morning, the following Monday morning last week, the stock opened up at $46 a share, which is a 55% increase.
Right.
It didn't last long because people, cashed out their shorts, and the entity that did that lost a lot of money because those shorts weren't that cheap. But it was supposed to be a sure thing. But I'm just saying that the people that are doing this, why would you do this? Donald J. Trump stock on a typical week, on the busiest put day, there's 1,500 puts, 1,600 puts in a given day. And to go from the most in a typical day, 1,600 puts, to 120,000 on a Friday, there's something there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's money. Another thing I wanted to bring up, and it's the illegal aliens coming in the country and the crime. Did you hear about? See, I'm a retiree of the U.S. Postal Service.
Okay.
I retired 10 years ago. I had 37 years in, and I was in management. And the letter carriers only had to worry about, and sometimes it was serious, dog bites.
Uh-huh.
So the biggest job, the thing that was most worried about, they bring dog biscuits on their route to try to fend off dogs.
Right.
Now, since Biden's been in, crime against postal carriers across the country
Have
has
skyrocketed.
gone through the roof.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about 1,200 incidents of robbery and being physically assaulted last year alone. But did you hear about that female letter carrier in Chicago last Friday afternoon? Gang accosted her for her mail, and they shot her dead.
No, I did not know that.
Put out a $250,000 reward for the apprehension and bringing, whoever it was to justice.
But then now that's a federal offense. That's a federal crime, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's the illegal aliens come in, the criminals from the prisons from foreign countries. When they come into this country, they don't looking for a job at a supermarket. If
Right.
they join the gangs in the cities. So this is something that's not being reported by the mainstream media. But I don't know if you want to look into that incident last Friday in Chicago and see if there's been any follow-up.
Yeah, because Chicago's been on my mind for a long time, especially with the convention coming up. So I will definitely check into that. I appreciate that, sir.
Yeah, and the convention coming up, you can imagine the mayhem. I watched the 68 convention on TV night after night. It was scary. The country was
It's funny because 2 years ago, I started watching that. Immediately, someone brought to my attention and said, hey, you know that the convention is going to be in Chicago. And somebody sent me a video of all the mayhem that was going on there. And particularly with Black Democrats in Chicago who were refusing to support anyone. There was a little bit of mayhem in that area. And someone said, wow, it looks a little reminiscent of what we're seeing now. But you're 100% right. It is deja vu all over again, as John Beckman likes to say. He'll quote Yogi Berra.
And quickly getting to the hearing today, I watched most of it with Cheadle.
Cheadle, yeah.
It's pathetic, but I'll tell you what. No one can be that stupid and arrogant.
Yes, they can.
Ignorant.
Yes, they can. Joe, yes, listen to me. Joe, yes, they can. They can be that stupid. I'll get into that in a little bit. Let me let you go so I can get to Rudy real quick before I have to get out of here, and he'll kill me if I don't let him in now. Rudy's in Florida. Hello, Rudy. You're on Reese on the radio.
Hey, I'm about to kill you anyway. You let me down last week.
Tell me.
What did I say that was bad against Lebo?
Oh, no. Hold on. I didn't suggest that. I didn't suggest you saying it. Diane called and said she wanted to know. Wait. She wanted to know the beef between the two of you. I never suggested.
I didn't trash Lebo.
No, I didn't suggest you did. Rudy,
Listen.
I never suggested you did.
I was on hold. Mark texted me and said he hung up on hold before me because you had Lebo on the phone and he couldn't stand listening to him.
Right.
That's all I said.
No. But if you were listening to me, hold on. If you were listening to me, I never once even suggested what the beef was. I just said, and I stand by it. I said, sometimes people, just either they're oil and water. They just don't, whatever the case may be.
I didn't bash Lebo.
But I didn't accuse you of bashing him.
I disagreed with him a year ago or so.
No. And I know that you disagreed with him. And again,
I thought Mark's joke was funny.
Yeah.
He couldn't.
But I never once suggested that you said anything untoward about.
You didn't correct her.
Well, no, I didn't. Well, how can I correct her when I never said that you said something or you had some beef with him? I never said that.
All you had to say was he was relaying a message from Mark.
Oh, I wasn't even paying attention to that part. I was just paying attention to the fact that, people don't get along. It doesn't mean anything. It just means that they're passionate about their positions. And it didn't mean that you felt any ill will.
But my sources just told me to give Joe advice that he should shorten his calls.
I can't hear you.
My sources just told me, I'm not going to name names because I don't want anyone to get in trouble. They said that Joe from New Hampshire should shorten his calls instead of his stop.
Oh, stop it. Anyway, so aside from that, what did you want to chime in about? Or you just came in here to air your grievance on a Monday instead of Friday?
One thing, though, they don't want the truth to come out about the show.
No, they don't.
We'll leave it at that. But it's going to get interesting because I think the parties. I mean, I don't see how Kamala could win.
No, there's no avenue for her to win. Not any.
Right. But she has all the money too.
That's fine.
And she can't transfer the money.
Well, you know what? The money has got to transfer into votes.
She takes over the pot from the Biden-Harris ticket. She cannot transfer that if she loses a nomination in Chicago.
That's correct.
She cannot do it because it's donated to the presidential campaign. She could personally donate a few $1,000s.
We have a month right now from the convention for Kamala Harris to make the case to the delegates, even though people are on the phone telling the delegates, yeah, we need you to put support behind her and all that other stuff. They can do it all they want. But when they get there, when the convention starts, I'm telling you, I don't know who it's going to be. I don't know when, whether or not Whitmer's going to jump in or whether or not there may be a pursuit of what do you call it, of Gavin Newsom. I don't know. But Kamala Harris does not have the support unless the delegates have decided, you know what, put her out there. Finally,
I don't think she has the support either, but do they have enough time to raise enough money and get everyone on ballots and get everyone out there? Because
no,
if they switch, they still have to file paperwork in 50 states to get on a ballot, and the deadlines start on September 1st.
That's right.
That's a massive amount of money to get people to every Secretary of State in every state in this country to put like Newsom and Whitmer on a ballot.
Yep.
And then do they have enough money? I mean, what about the old school Democrats that were behind Biden and Harris? Are they going to donate to the new ticket?
I don't think so.
They never should let Biden run. They did this way too late.
Oh, yeah. That's why I said, look, Rudy, I said at the beginning of the show, anyone who believes that there's no symmetry in the Democrat Party, no matter what the media is telling you. Well, we finally have our candidate. Things are back in order. There's no more chaos. Yes, there is. Plenty.
Who's debating Trump in August?
Yeah, exactly. Someone's got to. Someone's got to. Because that debate's happening. It's on the docket, and I think it's in ABC News, right? Yeah, ABC News is running that, so it's got to happen. You could damn well bet.
Grievances on Friday, though?
Of course we're airing grievances on Friday. I can't wait.
You remember what I said, though? I wish people would stop calling in that Trump's the military leader of this country.
Look.
One of them did it with Tom today.
Well, oh, did they? Well, what are you going to do?
It's the two of them. It's the dog walker and my...
Rudy, couldn't again, you look at you, you're just coming in here, just spraying up the room. Just stop it.
At least I didn't mention Tim from Hamden, who's a Biden supporter.
Oh, wait, again, you don't even need to. At least I didn't. Goodbye, Rudy. Much appreciated. Let me say this. 2 minutes left. Let me say this. The Michelle Obama thing, I get it. And it's almost like I'm almost hearing conservatives desperate for the Democrats to get somebody that they can run against Donald Trump. I almost feel like it's a crazy op that they're trying to run against Donald Trump to say, yes, let's Michelle Obama be the candidate. Like they're almost setting themselves up to lose. That if Michelle Obama becomes a candidate, then Donald Trump is certain to lose. He won't. You have to remember one thing and one thing alone. The Democrat Party is in unison. It's a family, right? Everything that they do, they all do together. So the policies of the Biden administration are going to transfer to whomever is the new candidate. It is the Biden campaign. It is the Biden presidency. So everything you've seen so far, there will be an extension of it to whomever it is who takes the mantle, whoever it is that decides. The Democrat Party is responsible for the state that we are in today. Why? Because Democrats have supported it. How do we know that? Because if you watch the news media today, everyone's saying that Joe Biden is one of the most accomplished presidents in our history, if not the. Totally suggesting that Barack Obama did nothing. Nothing. And they stand behind his policies in the last 3.75 years. They stand by it. So what makes you think anything's going to change? And what makes you think the American people are going to vote for more of the same? Use your head. It's not going to happen. You know better than this than I do. Let's go to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you, and good afternoon, everyone. And if you are heading southbound 91 in Hartford, you got some delays. 33 down to 32. Again, got Mike's at 28 on the Hartford Weather Sealed line. Northbound side of 91, that's a good ride as you move Cromwell through Hartford up into Windsor. Westbound 84 slows approaching the boat.
I'll be right back.
47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound.
Ooh.
Approaching 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 291 through 84 looking good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. We have an accident in Middletown, 9 northbound, and that's between exit 23 and 24. Left lane block with a tractor-trailer accident. Delays approaching 22 behind that. Heading into Waterbury, a little slow, 84 westbound, 22 into the Mixmaster. 84 eastbound, Danbury slowing New York, Connecticut line out to exit 5. After that, pretty good ride into Newtown. South 95 New Haven type 46 to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
WTIC weather.
Warm and sticky the rest of this afternoon. The mix of clouds and sun. A stray shower or thunder shower, high 84 to 88. Mostly cloudy and muggy tonight. A spotty shower this evening. Intermittent rain overnight, low 71. The clouds and a few sunny breaks tomorrow. Still humid with a shower or two, high 85. Wednesday, more clouds than sun. Humid with a couple of showers and a thunderstorm around, especially during the afternoon and evening. High Wednesday, right around 80. I'm meteorologist Bob Watterson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Get a head start to your day with WTIC News Talk 1080. Listen to us live on the Odyssey app before you even hit the road. Get the breakdown on the biggest news stories that Connecticut is talking about. To get started, download the Odyssey app and search for WTIC News Talk 1080. Keep WTIC News Talk 1080 with you all summer long for the information you need. Weather forecasts from Bob Cox help you plan your summertime activities. Taking a trip? Mark Christopher's traffic reports will get you there without the hassle. Plus, up-to-the-minute news reports twice an hour. No matter where you go, listen on the Odyssey app and stay informed with what's going on back in CT. Because when you're on vacation, we're not. WTIC News Talk 1080. WTIC is 99 and kicks off a year-long celebration to 100 years on the air. This is WTIC and WTIC FM HD2 Hartford, an Odyssey station.
82 degrees, 5 o'clock. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. A fundraising haul for Democrats since President Biden dropped out of the race and endorsed Vice President Harris. More than $100 million between the campaign and the fundraising platform Act Blue. Harris is in Wilmington, Delaware, visiting her campaign headquarters. In brief remarks at a White House ceremony, she had kind words for President Biden.
In one term, he has already surpassed the legacy of most presidents who have served 2 terms in office.
More than 1,100 delegates plan to support Harris at the Democratic National Convention next month. Connecticut delegates meet on a Zoom call tonight. One of them is Kenneth McClary of Bloomfield.
According to the party rules, he released the delegates. And so we're not obligated to vote for him on the first ballot. And so delegates will have the opportunity to support Vice President Harris, which all 50 state party chairs has endorsed her. So I suspect that all of the delegates that are going to the convention will be doing the same.
And a key endorsement for Harris.
Former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi had been a notable holdout as other top Democrats endorsed Harris. But Pelosi now says she's lending her enthusiastic support to Harris, who today also got endorsements from Governors Gretchen Whitmer, Andy Beshear, J.B. Pritzker, and Wes Moore, all of whom had been seen as potential nomination rivals.
Governor Lamont is also endorsing Harris, as are Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy. 4 of 5 members of the state's House delegation endorse her. Congressman John Larson has not endorsed her yet. Glastonbury police say they've arrested a 16-year-old for making social media threats. The juvenile is accused of using another person's account on the site called Discord, including references to the KKK and Hitler, and making a threat to Glastonbury High School. Charges include first-degree threatening and computer crime. The Secret Service director visiting a House committee a little more than 1 week after the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania.
We have a duty to find out how this happened and to ensure it never happens again.
Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer is calling for Kimberly Cheadle to resign.
Under Director Cheadle's leadership, we question whether anyone is safe, and certainly not the presidential candidate.
She owned up to the security failures.
We must learn what happened, and I will move heaven and earth to ensure that an incident like July 13th does not happen again.
Stacey Lynn, CBS News, Washington.
Waterbury police have released the identities of some of the victims of a head-on crash Friday night. 4 people were killed. 2 vehicles were traveling in opposite directions on Thomaston Ave when they collided. Both burst into flames. One of the drivers killed was Mark Souza of Waterbury. The other driver also died, Sheriff Mahan of West Hartford, along with the passenger, Danae Foster of Waterbury. The chief medical examiner is working to identify one other victim. A record number of Americans could retire this year. CBS's Christopher Cruz reports on the best states to do that.
Bankrate.com is out with its annual ranking of states using metrics important to retirees like affordability, overall well-being, quality and cost of health care, weather, and crime.
The best states to retire are mainly in the South and the Midwest, and the worst states to retire are primarily in the Northeast and in the West.
Bankrate analyst Alex Gailey.
Moving to a more affordable location in retirement may be an effective way to stretch the retirement dollars.
There's a new number 1, Delaware. At the bottom of the list, once again, Alaska. Christopher Cruz, CBS News.
Closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow closed up 128, S&P climbed 59, the NASDAQ was up 281. Sports, the Red Sox in Colorado, pregame 7:40 on WTIC. Yankees beat Tampa Bay 9-1, and the Mets in Miami. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Men, low causes a host of problems. These include a low sex drive, bad sleep patterns, unproductive workouts, decreased energy, brain fog, and more. But many men just attribute these symptoms to aging and don't consider that there are medical treatments that can give them back their vigor and vibrancy. This is Dale for Northeast Men's Health, and if you're feeling like I just described, it's time for you to treat that low T and change your life. At Northeast Men's Health, we're experts in treating low testosterone and other men's sexual health conditions. We've successfully treated thousands of men for low T and have seen the amazing difference that those treatments can make in a man's life. If you're feeling like the vast majority of men who are low T, within just a few weeks, you'll feel your energy return. That brain fog will go away. Your sleep will improve, as will your workouts, and your sex drive will be significantly enhanced as well. So make an appointment and make a true life change. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 800-930-5956. That's 800-930-5956. Or go to northeastmenshealth.com. We have 5 offices across the Northeast to serve you.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
God, I hated this song. Anyway, it's Reese on the radio.
Pimp C, baby.
Listen, I know I'm getting pushback, folks, on all of this thing with the Michelle Obama thing. Okay, but again, and it's going to, at the risk of sounding arrogant here, I'm going to just say it. Have I not taught anybody anything? Has all of this hard work fallen on deaf ears? When everyone is looking right, look left. When they're all looking left, look right. They're all saying Michelle Obama. So it must be true. Everyone, no matter what walk of life you are, they're all saying Michelle Obama's the shoo-in. They're certain of it. And I'm saying, no way. Special Ops said I'm not giving a good enough reason for why she's not jumping in. Okay. The real reason I can't give you until she jumps in. And I'm not going to. until indeed she jumps in. When she puts both feet on the ground and comes in, then all bets are off. You got me. You got me. But I know she's not. I know she's not. And again, people can say, you don't know who these Democrats are and what they're willing to do. I know who Michelle Obama is. I know definitely who Michelle Obama is. And she's been screaming and hollering to the rafters. She's not getting in. Trust me, believe her. Believe her. All anybody has to do is just tell me, if you're so certain of it, what's her political ideology? What does she believe in? What does she believe in? What's her plan? What's her mandate? If it ain't Barack Obama, you got nothing. You can't convince me. You just can't. I know you want to, but you can't. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Good afternoon. Well, we're still dealing with this accident 9 northbound, and that's in Middletown, and that's between exit 23 and exit 24. It involves a tractor trailer. It's in the left lane. Delays approaching exit 22 behind that on 9 north. Now, if you're heading into Hartford westbound, before you got delays East Hartford approaching the Bulkley Bridge to 47 Sigourney, 84 eastbound losing some speed, 46 up to 48 Capitol Avenue. 91 southbound slowing, getting by 33 Jennings Road. Quiet northbound 91 Rocky Hill through downtown up in Windsor. 291 384 okay east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well Glastonbury into Marlboro. If you are traveling into Waterbury right now, that looks good. 84 and 8. 84 eastbound in Danbury tight 3 out to exit 5. Again, some slow traffic. 84 eastbound between 9 and 10 in Newtown. 95 southbound New Haven slows 46 down to 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Mostly cloudy and humid tonight. A shower, thunder shower in some areas this evening. Occasional rain during the overnight hours. A low of 71. Clouds, a little bit of sun tomorrow. Humid with a shower or two around. For the most part, rain-free. High 85. Then a couple of showers and a thunderstorm likely tomorrow night. Muggy with the low of 69. We'll stay humid on Wednesday. More clouds than sun. Once again, a couple of showers and thunderstorms in the area. Best chance coming Wednesday afternoon and evening. Wednesday's high
It's
near 80.
telling
It's currently
as it is
75
chilling.
degrees in Bristol.
We have satellite images from the Butler Fairgrounds.
This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Glenn Zinn, the IS manager at Lux Bond and Green, truly appreciates the service he receives from Tab Computer Systems.
I think responsiveness to any problem that we have, whether that be a broken printer,
Most dangerous site. What was the closest structure to the
for a new
present?
computer, I've never really had a problem getting information or
You didn't
getting
have
somebody
people
to help me
on the
out.
roof
Tab
of the.
takes responsiveness very seriously.
I think that's one of the.
So why'd you
really
act like
good
there
things
was
with
one?
Tab.
Because
The people from the person you call, or I use the customer portal.
And you're saying that there was a
Service
danger.
message, I
Safety.
get
They make no
responses
sense, and they're a bunch of
right
cow.
away. So there is good coordination with the staff, and everybody's just so professional and nice.
Fast response from professional and nice people. Trust Tab's nearly 4 decades of experience. Call 1-888-TAB-4-HELP, 1-888-TAB, the numeral 4, HELP, or visit tabinc.com.
I would definitely recommend Tab to any other small businesses in Connecticut. The professionalism has been wonderful throughout the years.
Technologies advancing business. Tab Computer Systems.
Do you feel like you're clouded by doubt?
Ready to go.
The California Psychics. Our trusted and accurate psychics are available 24/7, and we guarantee if it's not life-changing, it's free. Download the app or connect with us at CaliforniaPsychics.com. Right now, new customers get 80% off their first reading. Experience the joy of certainty. California Psychics.
I learned patience from my adoptive dad. All he had to say was,
"Hey, you got this. Just breathe." Hey, pretty good.
Yeah.
Might have to start a band.
Got it.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org to find out more. This message is brought to you by Adopt US Kids, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and the Ad Council.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh, suck it out. Who this? Page me 5:46 in the morning. It's Reese on the radio. News Talk 1080 WTIC. Did you hear this exchange today?
My first question.
Both sides of the aisle today have asked for your resignation. Would you like to use my 5 minutes to draft your resignation letter, yes or no?
No, thank you.
Was this a colossal failure?
It was a failure.
Yes or no? Was it a colossal failure is the question, yes or no?
I have admitted this is a terrible.
This is a yes or no series of questions. Was this a colossal failure, yes or no?
Yes.
Was this tragedy preventable, yes or no?
Yes.
Has the Secret Service been transparent with this committee?
Yes.
Would you say the fact that we had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today as being transparent?
Nope.
Yes or no?
I have always been.
Yes or no? You didn't want to answer the question. We had to issue a subpoena to get you to show up today. That is not transparent, by the way. You stated earlier, Secret Service is not political. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Would you say leaking your opening statement to Punchbowl News, Politico's Playbook, and Washington Post several hours before you sent it to this committee as being political? Yes or no?
I have no idea how my statement got out.
How? You wrote it, didn't you? You're the director of the Secret Service. How did the media get a hold of your opening statement?
Well, that's bullshit. So, Mr. Chairman, I would like to ask unanimous consent to enter into the record articles by Punchbowl News, Political Playbook, Washington Post, all done at 5:24 a.m., 6:12 a.m., 6:34 a.m., a solid 3 to 4 hours before this committee got your statement.
Without objection, so ordered.
Okay. Is the Secret Service fully cooperating with our committee?
Yes.
Okay, you say you're fully cooperating with this committee. On July 15th, this committee sent you a list of demands of information that we wanted. Has the Secret Service provided this committee a complete list of all law enforcement personnel that were there that day? Have you done that? Have you provided a list to the Oversight Committee? Yes or no?
I will have to get back to you on that.
That is a no. Have you provided all audio and video recordings in your possession to this committee, as we asked on July 15th? Yes or no?
I would have to get back to you.
That is a no. You're full of today. You're just being completely dishonest. Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman.
Give it up for Nancy Mace. Give it up. I have a newfound crush on her. I have a newfound crush on her. She reminds me of my math teacher in the 7th grade, Miss Levine. She got the same look, the same, like when she's ticked off at you, like you didn't come in with your homework. Whoa, Miss Levine used to give that look. That's what Nancy Mace looked like. I totally give it to her. I'm like, what? She was just unrelenting with this Kimberly Cheadle today at the oversight hearing. Let's go to Ralph in Carolina, South Carolina. Hello, Ralph. You're on the Reese on the radio.
Good afternoon. Guess who my congresswoman is?
None other, right?
None other than Nancy Mace. I met Nancy on a few occasions. She's a very independent woman. She says what's on her mind. And I wish every single congressperson did the same thing.
Indeed. What did you call about, Ralph?
The reason I called is democracy. Joe Biden won the primaries, correct?
That's correct.
Joe Biden was supposed to be the nominee of the Democratic Party, correct?
Correct.
But when the polls showed that Joe Biden couldn't beat Donald Trump, they said, adios, Joe. You're gone.
Right. The saviors of democracy. And it's always the case, right? How does the Democratic Party operate? To combat racism, more of it, right? To save democracy, to destroy it.
We now know who runs the show. It's the corporations.
Mm-hmm.
It's the elites.
Mm-hmm.
And the money. It's not the people.
Well, we'll know that. We'll know that when it comes to the donors and the delegates and how they respond come this August. We will find out exactly who runs the Democratic Party. We will see that unfold.
If they had listened to the will of the people, Joe Biden would still be the nominee. The will of the people be damned.
Yeah.
It's the power people in Washington that run the show, and I don't care who you are, you're going to get run over by that bulldozer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the problem. And I'll tell you, I blame the people who put them in office every year, especially in Connecticut, when you have nothing but Democrats year after year after year. When are they ever going to wake up and say, hey, let's try something new?
You know what? Give them some time. Give them some time, Ralph. Apparently, listen, right now, things have gotten so dire. People are starting to operate, with their wallet and with their families and their well-being in mind. We're seeing that grow in numbers, and I think we're still going to see that in November. Thank you, Ralph. Let's go to Joe in Simsbury. Hey, Joe, how are you? A voice of reason, Mr. Joe in Simsbury. How are you, sir?
Hello there. So, I get a little frustrated at times with the naivety of different people on our side, whether it be the Michelle Obama thing, but I'll just talk about the Cheeto thing. And I would like to address something Joe from New Hampshire said, because there's some additional important information I'd like to share on that. So what Cheeto did today was she gave the middle finger to the people of the United States of America. When you really boil it down, with the excuses that she gave, the lack of information she said that she didn't have,
right?
She basically said, I'm not resigning because I did my job exactly the way I was directed to do my job. There is no other explanation for it.
Right.
There is no reason why all that information should not be available after 9 days.
Indeed.
It is not rocket science. We're not building a SpaceX rocket here. They are hiding the information, and she's not going to take the fall for doing her job. And the American people can sit there and they can just complain, but the people in charge are basically telling the American people exactly that.
Do you think that
sit there and you complain because we don't care about you?
Joe, do you think that she survives this? She's got to resign. The overwhelming amount of bipartisan calls for her to resign is a little bit much for her to withstand. And Joe Biden isn't there to bail her out.
The only reason she didn't resign and that she needed to get a subpoena is because she's being directed by people not to do that. That's the whole situation. We're looking at it as, if this is a reasonable woman, she's going to say, yeah, there were failures. I'm going to take accountability.
Right.
Trump lived. We're going to all forgive her. No. She's being told, don't you dare resign. Don't you dare give the American people what they want, which is her resignation and accountability. She's following exactly what she's being directed to do.
I think the weight.
Not just her.
I hear what you're saying.
By people.
I just think the weight of this is a little too much because, again, some of the people who are calling for her to resign have a little bit of weight. And I don't think, again, politically, because that's where this is right now. This looks and smells of politicization of the Secret Service. And it's you can't have any faith in her. And the worst part is again, like I said, Joe Biden is nowhere to be found to at least give the full confidence of that department. He can't. He's incapacitated.
Well, it's actually Jill Biden.
That may be
the
true.
One who put her in that role.
That's right.
A lot of the info that's needed, I guarantee it is sitting with Josh Hawley right now from the whistleblowers.
Yeah.
And I guarantee Dan Bongino knows a lot more information than what he shares.
Yeah.
But I quickly want to address Joe from New Hampshire because he
Yes.
talks about the shorting of the stock.
Yes.
And I get a kick out of his calls. I'm being honest, Joe. But the fact is that's actually a pretty serious situation. Not because some conspiracy theorists are saying, they shorted the stock. They knew something was going to happen. No, the seriousness of the situation is the only way that they can short that amount of stock is to either own that stock.
That's correct.
Or they have to borrow the stock on margin, which would have meant that an additional person other than who they're blaming as an administrative error had to go through some exercises to get the funding to do that.
Correct.
So what ended up happening was, I believe it was after the assassination attempt, they actually were allowed to get out of the trade by saying, it was an administrative error. Well, how did the trade ever take place in the first place because if you don't have to follow those rules, then that tells me that the stock market is rigged, because every other person around here, including Joe from New Hampshire, has to follow certain rules to place a stock trade where you're shorting a stock.
This is actually, and the reason why is because, again, I've got to go back in history. The reason why I've been looking at this in the way in which I am is this sounds eerily similar to the GameStop situation.
I look at it as eerily similar, not only to GameStop, but eerily similar to September 11th, 2001.
Yes. Yeah,
I mean, we never got into, who did the, other than we've heard rumors that, it was Saudi money that did it.
Sure.
That shorted the stocks of the airlines the day before this occurred.
Right.
In massive amounts that had not been shorted before, and there was nothing in the media that would lead someone to believe that the airlines were going to be in financial trouble.
That's right. Yeah, and it's never been investigated further than that little rinky dinky what do you call it a film called Zeitgeist. It was like really a short mention. There's been no investigation, or even I guess investigation would be the proper word, into that. But yeah, GameStop, this sounds familiar with, but yeah, I have to agree with you on the September 11th level. Yeah, this is it's up there.
It absolutely is. And, back to Cheadle to conclude my call.
Yes, sir.
Unless the American people demand that she resign, and we stand up for once, and we basically tell the government and certain people in the government, you failed and we don't like your answers, it's not going to happen. We're the people who are supposed to be in charge.
Yeah, and I think I think that call is going to be, listen, it's beyond a shadow of a doubt, Joe. I really do believe that at this point it is way too much for her to bear politically to stay in that office, because I don't think anyone trusts her or the Secret Service at this point with this. Again, this is an assassination attempt on a candidate, and everything that we're finding out thereafter, just the fact, the backtracking, the sloped roof excuse that she gave to ABC News, which has now turned out to be a complete farce. And then
the money,
yeah, and the backtracking
that people are saying that she that the Secret Service didn't have because they're short on funding. Well, why are we not looking at those politicians who, if that is in fact the case, decided to give billions and billions of dollars to the Ukraine,
right,
but didn't give a little bit of money to add a few Secret Service agents to protect everyone, not just Donald Trump?
Also, we've got to answer the question about we also have to answer the question that was asked her today about denying support to the staff that was detailing the former president, and why it was refused, even after there were credible threats from Iran and other places. So you're 100% right. Thank you, Joe. Much appreciated, my friend.
Thank you.
Let me get to Craig. Do I have time? Yeah, let's go to Craig in the car. Hello, Craig. Thanks for calling. Huh? What just happened?
Mike in Plainville.
Okay, then let's go to Mike in Plainville. Mike is in Plainville. Hello, Mike. You're on with Reese on the radio.
They should subpoena more of these politicians, okay? Because, and I'll applaud Nancy Mace. That was awesome. I love that.
You like that, huh?
I love that. Hey, under the lamp, cigarette and blindfold 101.
Cigarette and a blindfold. Do we have waterboarding too there, Mike?
You could. I'd like to talk to your news director and ask them why the hell Blumenthal endorses Kamala Harris.
What is he going to do? What could Blumenthal and Murphy do?
Are you kidding me? He's one of the biggest scumbags in the country.
What else? Listen, what do you think they're going to do? Everybody who's following literally lockstep in this, Blumenthal, Murphy, Lamont, come on, what do you expect them to do? The fact that it made the news in any case that they supported, of course they supported Kamala Harris. I mean, what were they supposed to do? There's no...
Here's the thing with these people. They don't have job descriptions like you and I do.
That's right. That's right.
I do every day. These people run and hide if things get too tough. They don't have to come out. They don't have to show up to do roll call or vote on bills.
Mike, watch this. Mike, watch this. Mark my words. We'll save every news clipping of these three guys supporting Kamala Harris until they don't anymore. And then they'll try to reason with their new decision that isn't Kamala Harris. When they jumped in both feet right out the window to support her less than a day after Joe Biden stepped out. When the convention comes, these guys will turn around and say, well, in the beginning, it was obviously clear, but I did rethink that. They will probably put themselves in whiplash in the amount of time it takes them to change their position. Let's get to the BPS Traffic Center with Mark Christopher. Hey, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. Well, if you're heading westbound 84 into downtown Hartford, you're going to see slow traffic now approaching the Bulkgate Bridge into the downtown tunnel. If you're on the eastbound side of 84, look for some slow traffic as you move about a half mile before 46 is an avenue up to 48 Capitol Avenue. On the southbound side of I-91, look for delays getting by exit 33 Jennings Road. And again, you'll see some slow traffic as you move, as you move down between exit 27 and exit 28. Northbound side 91 moving well Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound's okay, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound, you got slow traffic 22 up to the Aragoni Bridge. If you're heading into Waterbury, a little tight 84 eastbound by 18. 84 eastbound in Danbury, slowing New York, Connecticut line out to exit 3. Again, some slow traffic 84 eastbound in Danbury into Newtown between 8 and 9. South 95 slowing in New Haven 46 down to exit 44. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
Join us this Sunday for Tumulo Financial, your go-to for retirement planning and taxes. Tune in to the father and son duo from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. or catch the replay from 5 to 6 p.m. Tumulo Financial Retirement Planning with Integrity on WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
Intervals of clouds and sunshine the rest of this afternoon. Quite warm and humid. Can't rely on a shower. High 84 to 88. Humid and mostly cloudy tonight. A spotty shower this evening. A little rain at times overnight. Low 71. Clouds and occasional sun tomorrow. Humid with a shower or two in the area. An high of 85. Will stay muggy tomorrow night. A couple of showers and a thunderstorm. And a low of 69. This is meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Need good tech advice?
Must be a computer error.
Tune into the Gold.com award-winning Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings 9 to 11 on WTIC News Talk 1080. Eric Semmel and Dennis Howland of Tab Computer Systems will keep you updated with tech news you can use and answer your technology questions live on the air. Miss a program? Be sure to subscribe to the podcast and tune in from anywhere via the Odyssey app. Computer Talk with Tab, Saturday mornings on WTIC News Talk 1080. And now, a WTIC news update.
82 degrees at 5:30. I'm Dave Mager, WTIC 1080 News. Vice President Harris is in Wilmington, Delaware, visiting her new campaign headquarters. They were the Biden headquarters until yesterday. Aaron Navarro of CBS News is in Wilmington. He says Democrats expect a smooth transition as far as the campaign is concerned. The cash and operations are being turned over to Harris.
Essentially, the infrastructure for President Biden and his campaign that has existed in the past year and a half will transfer over to Harris. They switched the names on the FEC filing. She was already on the ticket, so any legal snafus she has avoided because she was already on the ticket. She can just kind of inherit this infrastructure.
More than $100 million raised between the Harris campaign and Act Blue since the announcement. More than 1,100 pledged delegates say they plan to support Harris at the Democratic National Convention. That's more than half of what she needs. Connecticut delegates meet on a Zoom call tonight. In brief remarks at the White House, the VP talked about the president.
I am firsthand witness that every day our President Joe Biden fights for the American people, and we are deeply, deeply grateful for his service to our nation.
Key endorsement today from former Speaker Nancy Pelosi. Governor Lamont's also endorsing Harris.
I think she's going to be a great nominee for our party and an extraordinary president. I was proud to endorse her.
Also endorsing are Senators Richard Blumenthal and Chris Murphy. 4 of 5 members of the state's House delegation endorse her. Congressman John Larson has not endorsed Harris yet. Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle visiting a House committee a little more than 1 week after the shooting in Butler, Pennsylvania.
As a director of the United States Secret Service, I take full responsibility for any security lapse of our agency. We are fully cooperating with ongoing investigations. We must learn what happened, and I will move heaven and earth to ensure that an incident like July 13th does not happen again.
Members of Congress want her resignation, which does not appear to be forthcoming. Glastonbury police say they've arrested a 16-year-old for making death threats to black students on social media. The juvenile is accused of using another person's account on the site called Discord. The posts include references to the KKK and Hitler and a bomb threat to Glastonbury High School. Charges include first-degree threatening and computer crime. The suspect was arrested and turned over to juvenile court in Hartford. The closing bell report brought to you by Bouvier Insurance. The Dow closed up 128. S&P was plus 59. NASDAQ climbed 281. Sports, Red Sox in Colorado, pregame 7:40 on WTIC. Juan Soto went deep twice as the Yankees beat Tampa Bay 9-1, the Mets in Miami. For more, check out WTIC.com. I'm Dave Maker, WTIC 1080 News.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you know that these days, generating growth is a challenge. By teaming with Bank of America, you'll not just stay ahead of the curve, you'll move it. With access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter, locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
At Skechers, we put the S in comfort. Now, I know you're probably spelling comfort in your head and asking yourself, is that possible? Am I just a really bad speller? Look, I don't know your spelling aptitude, but Skechers most definitely put the S in comfort because Skechers is the comfort technology company and has developed fits and features that change everything you know about comfort. Like hands-free Skechers slip-ins, the ultimate in comfort and convenience. It's footwear you just step into and they're on with no bending down. Find Skechers at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Oh, a minute.
Water, mister.
What Got it.
I told you months ago our utility bills were getting higher because of that old outdated tank water heater.
Maybe it's time we finally switch to a Navien tankless.
Learn about Navient's high-efficiency tankless water heaters, endless hot water, all while helping you save on your energy costs.
Hey, look at this. Our utility bill is lower since we got the Navien tankless water heater.
Who's in hot water now?
We are, all the time.
Learn more at tanklessmadesimple.com.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. With their unique Beacon Pro Plus app, I've got the brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon. Always built.
This is Reese on the radio, filling in for Todd Feinberg on WTIC News Talk 1080.
I gotta tell you, I've never seen anything like this. The derangement that I see from some of these people, and I'm gonna do this next week. And it's a thing I'm going to call the Sunday papers. And I love the Sunday papers. I'm a big Sunday papers guy. And I need to do this just because the level of anxiety and therapy that people say that they need is absolutely, it's exhausting. I think I need therapy listening to people who need therapy. Apparently everybody needs it. What is going on with Rosie O'Donnell? There was a time I used to love this woman and her little talk show. Her little cute talk show, you know, where she had the little fuzzballs where she used to throw them out into the audience and she was all happy-go-lucky and she used to, you know, joke around about her huge obsession with Tom Cruise and her little flirty thing. You know, she was obsessed with Tom Cruise. I thought she was funny. I thought her show was great. And then it all went south when she had Tom Selleck on the show, and she started having a conversation with him about gun control, and it went off the rails. He was there to promote some TV movie that he was in, and it went off the rails, and then Rosie O'Donnell became this insane and I use that term lightly, person on television. Well, now there's this article about her that says Rosie O'Donnell says that even therapy isn't helping her with fears over the election. And she says that her therapist refuses to help her with her anxiety. My therapist actually said to me, well, it's a long time until November. No, isn't it? We're about to start school again, she fretted. By Thanksgiving, we're not going to know if we still have a democracy in the United States, she went on. Apparently, thinking democracy means getting the election outcome I want. And her therapist is telling her to calm down. Even the person she's going to get therapy from, she doesn't believe that she's out of sorts. Can you imagine that? Needing therapy, but not taking the therapy. That's like listening to Mark Christopher and not detouring when he tells you there's a traffic jam. Right, Mark Christopher in the BPS Traffic Center?
You didn't listen to me. I told you not to go that way, and you went anyway.
That's right. He is your traffic therapist.
That's right. Lay down on the couch, have a drink, and we'll talk. Hey, if you're heading into Hartford right now, Reese, looks pretty good overall. Southbound side of 91. Just a little tight 33 down to 32 A and B. Quiet northbound 91, Cromwell through downtown up into Windsor. Westbound 84 is a little tight as you move into the tunnel up to 47 Sigourney Street. Eastbound 84, once again, just a minor slowdown, 46 to 48. 291, 384, that looks good east of the river. 2 eastbound moving well, Glastonbury to Marlboro. 9 northbound slowing, Harbor Park up to the Aragoni Bridge. 84 eastbound, slight delay by exit 18 in Waterbury. If you are traveling down in toward New Haven, 95 southbound delays 46 to 44. We have an accident southbound right at the beginning of the Merritt Parkway in Stratford between 53 and 52. The right lane's blocked. Delays are back to 54 in Milford behind that. Traffic and weather together on the 8th WTIC News Talk 1080.
WTIC weather.
It's mostly cloudy and humid tonight. A shower, thunder shower in some areas early on, then occasional rain during the late night hours. The low tonight is 71. Humid tomorrow, clouds and occasional sunshine with a shower or two around, maybe a rumble of thunder, high 85. Couple of showers and a thunderstorm in the area tomorrow night will stay muggy, low 69 degrees. And again, humid on Wednesday, clouds and occasional sun. Couple of showers and thunderstorms, primarily in the afternoon and evening. High Wednesday near 80. It's now 75 degrees in Plymouth. It's 80 in East Hartford and 78 in Hartford. I'm meteorologist Bob Larson of the WTIC Weather Center.
Don't just live with foot pain. Find the Good Feet store nearest you at goodfeet.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Hey there, Weekend Warriors. Tom Shattuck here. Sick of that slice? Tired of those 3 putts? I know I am. What if I told you your handicap isn't about your swing? It's about your weight. Why not take strokes off your game by taking pounds off your frame with Awaken 180? We're talking 10 strokes off by August, getting your tour card by September, winning your first major year 1. Think about it. Fame, fortune, and most important, winning $5 off your buddy because you, sir, are closest to the pin. Taking strokes off your game is just 40 pounds away at Awaken180weightloss.com. Awaken 180 does not guarantee an immediate 10 strokes off your score, receiving a tour card, or the ability to control the weather. Individual results may vary. Your newfound athleticism might cause jealousy amongst your foursome, leading to accusations of steroid use. Awaken 180 is not responsible for defending your honor in the clubhouse. Awaken 180 cannot guarantee that your newfound golf prowess will lead to a sponsorship deal, but we can't not guarantee it either. Awaken 180 is not responsible for any dramatic fist pumps or unsolicited golf tips you give to strangers. Awaken 180 does not offer refunds for any lost wagers made in your improved golf game. Bet wisely, my friend. Strokes off your game by dropping pounds off your frame. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Getting quality positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of
Six
ZipRecruiter
Eyes in the
for free.
house. Jeff
Go to
Carlin in the house.
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Bones, what's up, baby?
That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
What's up, everybody? You know who it is. You know who it is. You know who it is. It's Reese on the radio. Frederick Douglass of the 21st century.
It's WTIC News Talk 1080.
Oh my God. Roland, really? This is one of my favorite tracks by Pete Rock. With I and I. Oh, this is one of my favorite tracks worldwide. Anyway, dang it. What a record to play. I really like that. Thank you. Anyway, Jeff Carlin in the house, my good friend, all the way out on the West Coast, folks. And again, that's the beauty of WTIC. We got people from the East Coast, the West Coast, in the Midwest, Six Eyes, all the way up in Cleveland. Or is it Cincinnati? I think it's Cleveland. All over the country. That's the reason why we do it on ReeseOnTheRadio.com. That's ReeseOnTheRadio.com. So if you want to watch my melodious voice, you can do it by going to ReeseOnTheRadio.com. And we're going to do a Reese on the Radio rundown tonight. I think I'm going to push it back for an hour and do it at 9 o'clock so I have some time to prepare. It's difficult for me to do the show for 3 hours and then, try to do it at night, do the rundown. But, the people who watch the rundown have been missing it, and primarily because that's when they watch Reese on the Radio. So I want to make sure that I give them, what they pay for, which is virtually nothing, by the way. But they're going to come and watch the show with plenty of news and plenty of views and stuff talking about a lot of this stuff on an in-depth way. So just go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. And plus there's video sort of montages that we play as well on the show. So if you haven't already, go to ReeseOnTheRadio.com so that you can follow us and watch us on Facebook, on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Rumble as well. So we hope that you will you'll join us there. So I just saw this, and I'm probably going to be talking about this a little bit more on the podcast tonight. And it is this growing nonsense about the Kamala Harris campaign that, again, does not seem to make sense in the grand scheme. I don't believe anything is going to make the American people side with the Democrats. This is what the Democrats are having is not a nominee problem. It is a policy problem. It is a politic problem. Okay? The Democrats are standing for things that the American people are rejecting. That is a fact. That's not a joke. If anyone's under the impression that if Kamala Harris takes the place of Joe Biden, in some way that makes the party platform better, please explain to me. So you want more or higher gas prices. You just don't want Joe Biden to give them to you anymore. You now want Kamala Harris to deliver that, right? You don't want to just deal with inflation from Joe Biden because that guy, he's really, really horrible at the whole economy thing. Let's bring in Kamala Harris because her inflation plan is going to be kinder and gentler, that it will come in a nicer package coming from Kamala Harris, and that laughter, that cackle, as it were. So you've got to explain to me how it means they're all a carbon copy of one another. It's just what the case is. They're a carbon copy. And I said earlier in the show, I said at the beginning of the program, when Joe Biden was going through cognitive decline, when people were asking the question, who's running the show? Who's running the show? I asked the simple question, has Kamala Harris ever been accused? Has she ever been accused of running the campaign for Joe Biden? Has she ever been accused of being a puppet master? Has anyone ever cited, hey, don't worry about Joe, Kamala's there and she's got the reins? Anyone? Never. Every person, whether they're for Joe Biden or not, because if they're for Joe Biden, they're thwarting any idea that Barack Obama is behind the scenes running the show. They're thwarting the idea that anyone other than Joe Biden is running the whole deal. He's in control of the White House. That's what they told us. They didn't even try to reassure us. Hey, look, you know what? Joe Biden, he's going to take a lid at 11:30, but don't worry, Kamala's at the wheel. Because they'd have an accomplishment. When Joe Biden got sick with COVID the first time, do you remember that? Does anybody remember the great accomplishments of Kamala Harris? Anyone? They should be able to run on that. Shouldn't they? The president had COVID very early in his administration. Where's Kamala's what's his name? What do you call it? Accomplishments? Where are they? Anyone? None. When people were concerned about whether or not the president of the United States was going to be indicted on having classified documents in the Robert Hur case, did anyone say, don't worry, Kamala will take the wheel? No one did. At all. I didn't hear that. Did you? When Robert Hur's report came out and they said that he was a doddering old man who couldn't remember anything, right? People said it was a smear campaign. But no one said, don't worry about it. Kamala's got his back. No one even mentioned her. Kamala Harris's presence is tokenism at its best. It's let's take this black woman and place her where we need her. Hey, we got something going on at the NAACP. Send Kamala. Hey, is there an event going on at the Urban League? Send Kamala. What did they do didn't they send Kamala Harris to an abortion clinic? Didn't they do that? How did that pan out? It was so bad that even MSNBC was calling it ick. It went over like a lead balloon. And speaking of balloons, was anyone racing to Kamala Harris to get her opinion on what to be done about the balloon? No one even got a statement from her. At all. So who is this person that they're drumming up, that now telling the rest of us that we should be convinced she's going to be quite formidable against the former president? Who are these people? How are you going to believe them? How can they be believed? I keep hearing people talking about how accomplished she is, but not one person naming an accomplishment. I hear them all day. She's this, she's that, she's the third. Please lay it out. Liberals can't. People who support her think that she's a great candidate. They can't name one. I defy you. I defy you. John Beckman says, question if I may. So all the talk today is America is ready for a female president. Yet, they can't define what a woman is. Again. It's always going to be policies. They are carbon copies of one another. It doesn't matter whether or not you put it in. You could put a 6'9" transvestite with a beard as the Democrat nominee. It could tick every box for the Democrat Party. It changes nothing but the appearance of the candidate. Zero. The policies will be the same. What they plan to do to the country will be exactly what Joe Biden was doing to the country. Doesn't matter. And people are trying to convince me that there are enough people out there stupid enough to say, yeah, I can go for higher gas prices as long as Kamala's running. I can go for the border being porous under the Kamala Harris administration. The problem was it was Joe. It was when Joe Biden was president that was really, really making the invasion at the southern border really hard to deal with. But now that Kamala's in charge, I can deal with hundreds of thousands of people coming across that border a day. It's all about the optics. It's all about who's the person that's doing the damage to the United States. That's what we care about. Come on, man. Somebody. Seriously. I know I'm not losing my mind. I know I check myself every day just to make sure. I play with the Rubik's Cube, but it's not much of an IQ test, but I do it. But someone's got to explain it to me. Somebody's got to explain it to me. Make it make sense. Even with the Michelle Obama thing. Here's we're talking about a woman who's campaigned on nothing ever. And everyone's convinced, yeah, they're going to pick Michelle Obama. Michelle Obama's going to be a shoo-in for the Democrat Party. And I'm sitting up here going, really? Based on what? Based on what? Because she's Michelle Obama, she's well-liked, she's been on some magazine covers, and the women like her, suburban women like her? Really? Don't let me have to start calling suburban women dumb. Because I don't believe that for 1 minute. I don't believe that suburban mothers with children ever want to go through the school lunch program that they had to deal with. The kids were miserable. Roseanne's son is 17 in a couple of weeks, about less than a couple of weeks, probably like 10 days. He's about to be 17 years old. When I mentioned Michelle Obama in the school lunch program, he was like, the kids at my school hated her for that. He's a year away from being able to vote. And he can still remember that when he was in junior high school, Michelle Obama ruined the lunch. That sat with him. When something like that resonates with your kid, I mean, again, I know it's silly, but come on. The woman went after big gulps. When Boko Haram took all of those, 150 young girls out of Africa, what did Michelle Obama do? She put out a hashtag. What? This is the same woman who said for the first time in my adult life, I'm proud of my country. This is a woman who was caught on camera at Inauguration Day that said all of this for a flag? And someone's trying to convince me that this woman is going to be the next president of the United States because she did a Vogue cover? I know it's easy to fall into these traps, but come on. I know some people wish to suggest that people who are liberal are stupid or maybe a little slow. If not, voting with, with, I guess, some sort of weird populist angst or angle. But I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. The reason why Joe Biden was doing as bad as he was doing were because of the policies. And the next Democrat that comes in is bringing more of the same. It's the reason why Gavin Newsom isn't running. And trust me, he's got the popularity of a front runner. And he can't run. Why? Because he's got to deal with the policies of California. Those things are dragging him down. That is an anvil on his ankles. He can't run because he's got to get the hell out of California. He's got to separate himself so far from the damage that he's done at that state in order for him to run in 2028. He can't run now. His record in California is dogging him. Somebody's got to know better than this stuff. The news media is pulling the wool over everybody's eyes. All of this is nonsense. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe any of it. It's easy to fall into these traps because everybody is reporting on the stuff that the other person is reporting on. It's no real journalism anymore. There's no real in-depth investigation as to what is going on. It's all of these people writing stories based upon what the other mainstream media. It's like counterintuitive. It's like one guy's writing this story and then someone else is writing a counter to that story. No one's actually going out there and getting the news. Kamala Harris is absolutely the worst candidate for the Democrat Party. And trust me, they are in disarray. That is a fact. And I'll play that video tonight to prove it. The Democrat Party is in disarray. They want to seem like they're unified, but they are not. They can't be. This is a mess. And it has nothing to do with Joe Biden stepping out. It's what the American people think of the left today. It's what the American people think of the leftist policies today. Sure, there are a bunch of radicals who agree with what's being done. But young people, why are they running to Donald Trump? Why are they becoming more conservative than ever before? Because of the things that they can't do. can't buy a house, can't rent a home, can't buy a car. They can't do any of the things that their predecessors have done before. They don't want to live like this anymore. Most kids don't. They're material. It's who children are. Young millennials, they're all material. It's having the coolest stuff, being able to afford the coolest stuff so they can do the cool things. If they can't afford to do those things and they find out who is responsible for keeping them from doing the cool things, they make them pay. That's what's happening in November. And you're not going to read that in any blog, and you're not going to read that or see that on any cable news program. Those are the facts. Hang out with a bunch of young people and you'll see them. They cry over a $400 bill. $400.
Gotta go.
As I always say, radio is free, so we thank you for paying attention. Remember to keep JC in your hearts and in your mind. Sean Patrick, we love you and we miss you. Remember that panic is not planning, so plan your work and work your plan. Me, I'm Reese on the radio. He is Mark Christopher, and he's in the BPS Traffic Center. I will see you guys tomorrow, Mark.
All right, Reese, thank you very much. I'm working my plan here. We have a little traffic at 558, and if you're heading into Hartford right now, it's a good ride. South 91's a little...
All right, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good show. See you tomorrow.
See you mañana. Enjoy your night.
You too.
84 okay, 2 eastbound, looking good. Glastonbury into Marlboro. Quiet Middletown, 84 eastbound, Waterbury.
All right, folks. Thank you. I appreciate it. The trash collectors were very busy at that time. Breaking news, Biden is alive. He just called into his campaign office in Delaware and said he is with Kamala. Well, I'm glad to see he's okay. You guys be good. I will see you tonight, 9 o'clock, folks. Tonight, 9 o'clock, Reese on the Radio Rundown.